The Mad Dog is back. That is Maddox Masson. He's missed the last 3 games with an injury, but he's back in time trying to lead Boise State to another Mountain West championship against UNLV next, right here on Fox.
There's a throne on the line, a dynasty to protect, and a score to settle.
Boise State and UNLV for the Mountain West title. Here we go.
Boise State, the blue-blooded kings of the conference, set on keeping their crown.
Boise State, Mountain West champions.
UNLV, the rising threat with one goal in mind: revenge. Can these rebels finally dethrone the kings?
There he goes! Jack Thomas blasts his way through!
Or will the Broncos' reign roll on?
My goodness! Are you serious?
Welcome to the 2025 Mountain West Championship on Fox.
UNLV has lost to Boise State the last 2 years in the championship game, but they did not have that guy. He is the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year, Anthony Calandria, ready to roll, trying to bring a title to UNLV. Oh, yeah, championship weekend is upon us, and we are so happy to be a part of it. Mike Hill hanging out with the rebel rouser right here, Bruce Feldman, the troublemaker, and Chris Peterson. You guys ready for an exciting championship weekend?
Let's go.
It's time. It's go time right now, championship weekend.
Let's make it happen. Here's what's happening this very important weekend, everybody. The biggest game happening tomorrow right here on Fox. Ohio State meets Indiana for the Big Ten title. The last 2 unbeaten since the first meeting of 1 versus 2 in the CFP era. Alabama takes on Georgia for the SEC title. The Tide rolled over the Dogs 24-21 back in September. And get this, Kirby Smart's just 1-7 against Alabama in his career. Texas Tech and BYU both making their first appearance in the Big 12 title game. Red Raiders defeated BYU 29-7 last month, and a win or loss, Texas Tech is projected in the playoffs. Duke hasn't won the ACC title since 1989. That's also the last time Virginia won 10 games prior to this year. Duke has 5 losses and hasn't been ranked at any point this season, but a win, and they could be in. That's intriguing in itself. But what is an intriguing storyline you'll be looking for this weekend, Bruce?
Mike, I want to see, is there going to be mass chaos for the CFP this weekend? And I'm not even talking about the Notre Dame-Miami thing. I'm talking about Duke and the ACC. Can 7-5 Duke, with some really bad losses out of conference, can they upset a 10-win Virginia team, which had a great year, and beat them recently, not that long ago? And if they do, does the CFP committee, which we have seen a lot of times, especially this year, they seem to be making it up as they go along. Do they find a way to say, you know what, we're not going to snub an ACC Power 4 champ for the expense of 2, not 1, group of 5 teams? Can they do it? Do they have to do it? How does that play out? I want to see how that goes.
I hope they do right by Bruce. He's going to fire off another tweet to the CFP committee. Go ahead, Coach.
There's no doubt that committee's got some work to do. They're probably sitting in that room biting their fingernails because in some ways, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's going to be interesting. But for me, I'm really interested in this Texas Tech-BYU game. I really like this Texas Tech team. Number 4 in the country, and I still think they're flying under the radar. But I think the thing about them is when they're getting into the playoffs, because I think they're in win or lose, nobody's going to be excited about playing the Red Raiders. They're good on offense, they're good on defense, they're good on special teams, and there was 2 times when they really had to test their mettle. At Utah, close to the 4th quarter, and then they exploded at Utah to win that game and blow it open. And then also playing BYU the first time. They win 29-7, but it wasn't really that close. If you look at all the metrics, the stats, which we know what we think about stats. But anyway,
for losers.
You look at them, they are good across the board. I mean, this is the #1 rush defense in the country as well. I mean, you can talk about in any category, they're going to show up. They're a fun team, and they could do some damage in this
And
playoff.
remember, they're not just playing for a Big 12 title. They're also playing for a possible first-round bye. We'll see. I know the Big 12 is going to get one in. We'll see if they get two in if BYU wins the game there. Meanwhile, we're getting set to crown a Mountain West champion. Boise State has won 10 straight meetings against UNLV, but, of course, this one matters for the title. Alexa Landestoy is with Broncos coach Spencer Danielson right now.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you get your starting quarterback back for tonight's game. What does Maddox bring to your offense?
Yeah, first off, thank you, Jesus, just for an opportunity to be here, man. Our team has battled, so proud of him, and Maddox has battled, right? Injured, painful moment. So proud of Max Cutforth coming in and leading our team to victory. And our team just rallied, and we were on the mat for a little bit, right? We were counted out, and our team kept swinging. Trust the Lord, keep swinging, and I'm so proud of Maddox. I mean, he's a huge leader on our team. Not only just him as a quarterback, he's a huge leader for our entire team.
Being back here in the Mountain West Championship game, you were familiar with this team, playing them quite a few times over the last few seasons. What can you draw from the matchup earlier this year to game plan for this one tonight?
Yeah, got a lot of respect for UNLV. Obviously, what Coach Odom did over those years, and then obviously what Dan Mullen's been able to do. There's not a lot of 10-win teams in college football. So when we played them the first time, it was 28-24 at half, absolute dogfight. We made some big plays in the second half and won the game. But we know they're a much better football team than we played them before. And I believe we're a better football team, too. So it's been a big-time matchup. I'm excited for our guys.
Thanks so much for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alexa. Of course, according to our Bruce Feldman, who does it all, Penn State is finalizing an offer for Matt Campbell to fill their head coaching vacancy. Campbell, who is the winningest coach in Iowa State history. The school made its only 2 Big 12 title appearances under Campbell. Good job, Bruce. It's a battle of the nation's last 2 remaining undefeated teams. Does Indiana have the firepower to take down those Buckeyes? We head to Indianapolis coming up next. In a close game, Miami took down Notre Dame all the way back in week 1. These teams have changed a lot since then, but how much weight should that hold in the eyes of the playoff committee? Forget the playoff committee. We're going to get these guys' opinions coming up pretty soon. And then it's Jaden Bradley. Of course, he's getting ready for the Mountain West Championship game tonight in Boise State. He seems hyped up, ready to go. UNLV, Boise State, ready to go in about 30 minutes. The transfer, Troy O'Meara, ready to go. Of course, one of Anthony Calandria's weapons. UNLV getting set to take on Boise State for the Mountain West Championship coming up on Fox. Meanwhile, top-ranked Ohio State battles number 2 Indiana. Big Ten Championship tomorrow on Fox. We're excited about it. Our coverage from Indianapolis begins at 6:30 Eastern for this historical matchup.
Mendoza throws it to the end zone. Touchdown!
We're a little old Indiana compared to everybody, but we really don't pay attention to it. It's just a chip on our shoulder that we have.
When you turn the film on, you can tell. I mean, that's a great team. You can tell why the number 2 team in the country. I mean, it's the best 2 teams in the country playing for the Big Ten Conference Championship, so it's awesome.
You know, we're not really focused on it, but you definitely see it a little bit, and it's pretty cool to knowing that it's 1 versus 2 matchup.
Caught! Jeremiah! Touchdown!
We play the number 2 team in the country. Like it's a really good football team that we play on the Saturday. We got to be prepared for them guys.
I don't feel any pressure at all. I'm excited for the opportunity and the challenge. I have total confidence and belief in our football team.
Versus 2 defense, 1 versus 2 quarterback, but at the end of the day, we got to play the man that's in front of us.
So really take a step back and see, wow, we're in the Big Ten Championship, 12-0 for the first time in IU history. It's such an opportunity. I know we're all blessed to be in this place.
Man, it's going to be a good one, as they say down south. This is the first 1 versus 2 matchup since Michigan beat Washington for the national title 2 years ago. It's also the first in the playoff era that doesn't take place in a national championship game. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt have more from Indianapolis.
All right, thank you very much. We've got the best game in the country coming up tomorrow here in Indianapolis as number 1 Ohio State takes on number 2 Indiana for the Big Ten Championship game, for maybe a possible number 1 seed in the college football playoffs, and maybe, just maybe, for the Heisman Trophy.
I can't wait to see this one. And these two quarterbacks have been so good. I agree with that. I think that the winner of this game, as long as the quarterback plays well, is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Julian Sayin for Ohio State, Fernando Mendoza for Indiana. Both of these guys have been absolutely tremendous the entire year. They're efficient. Their playmaking ability, even in crunch time, specifically Mendoza. We had that Penn State game. How good was he late in that game? I know that's a lot of pressure to put on these quarterbacks, but the most prestigious individual award in the land, I think, is on the line here on this field tomorrow.
How about Indiana, Ohio State? Team, who do you like?
Well, listen, both of these teams are complete. They're balanced. They play great defense. These are two of the best defenses in all of college football. They're balanced and explosive on the offensive side. Great wide receivers. They can run it. Their quarterbacks are efficient. Put simply, these are the two best teams in the country. Wouldn't shock me at all if this is the first of two meetings. I think they might meet down the road in the college football playoff. I think they're that good.
Surratt, Becker, Omar Cooper. It's going to be a tremendous matchup. So 1 versus 2 right here in Naptown. We can't wait.
Oh, we cannot wait either. This is going to be a great one. So besides the Big Ten championship and possible #1 seed overall in the playoffs, what are we going to find out in this matchup?
Yeah, I think we're going to find out. The thing that I'm most interested in, I can't wait to find out, is about Indiana's run game. They're #1 in the Big Ten in rush offense. We know about that vaunted Ohio State defense. It's as good as they come. But I think one of the reasons that Indiana has been so good and Mendoza's been so good is they run the ball well. They're always ahead of the chains. They always keep manageable situations for them. And so they run the ball for 229 yards a game. Ohio State gives 81 yards a game in rush offense. Something's got to give there. And so I'm really curious to see how that goes. And then you can double-click on that. If they can run the ball and keep third downs in manageable situations, 2 to 5 situations, that's a whole different game for a quarterback. And so if they can do those two things, which I'm skeptical about because I like Ohio State's defense so much, but if they can do that, Indiana might knock them off.
So you like Ohio State's defense better than Indiana's offense, which is top 5 in the nation.
This is kind of a historic defense. I mean, it really is. They have shown no weaknesses, no flaws.
I want to see how ready for prime time Indiana is now. I think they're much improved from last year. I go back to last year, November, Indiana's rolling. We were there at Big Noon in Columbus. It was a decent start for Indiana, but then the Buckeyes got after him. They could not protect Curtis Rourke. They sacked him 5 times. The back struggled in protection. They had, like, their experienced offensive lineman kind of in a blender, not knowing where to go. Indiana's offensive line is much improved, but I think this presents different problems with the linebackers that Ohio State has. I do love what I saw from Mendoza, both at Oregon when he throws a pick 6 and responds, and then we saw the great finish, even without Surratt at Penn State, that drive. I mean, can he carry I don't want to say it's magic, but can he carry that over against the best defense he's seen? I can't wait to find out.
Like you mentioned, they were right in that game right before the half, and then they started destructing Indiana did. What if Indiana wins this game? Are they then your favorite going into the college football playoffs?
You know, I have a hard time at this point getting off Ohio State. I think that could help Ohio State. They haven't really been challenged much this year. So to lose a game going in and put the microscope on all your few flaws you have and get better, I don't know. This Ohio State team is going to be a tough out any way you cut it.
All right, they are the defending champions trying to go back-to-back for the first time in school history. We'll see what happens, of course, Big Ten championship game tomorrow on Fox. Meanwhile, BYU loses to Texas Tech. It could come down to Miami and Notre Dame for the final playoff spot. Which team should have the best case? Should BYU be a little bit more considered in this?
Yes.
Even if they lose? Oh, we'll talk about that. Boise State, you remember these days, Coach? You know what, Coach? You never lost in the Mountain West championship game.
The good old days.
They still got them.
They do have them.
For the 4th year in a row. Don't forget Saturday, college hoops. We got a top 10 battle of unbeatens featuring Cameron Boozer, the star freshman in Duke, taking on Michigan State in East Lansing. It's 11:30 Eastern on Fox. Jaden Thomas ready to go for UNLV, another one of those Calandria weapons. Boise State, UNLV coming up. Boise State. Dan Mullen speaking with Alexa Lannister just moments ago.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, at the beginning of the year, you put up a slide that said 319 days till the Mountain West Championship game. Now fast forward, and here you are. What does it say about your group getting here in year one?
Well, I mean, pretty special. We put this team together. We had guys come from all over the country. We have very few returning players. But you know what? This team, they looked in. They believed in this team. They believed in each other. They've worked their tail off all year for this opportunity. What a great moment for them to come out here, play the defending champions in one of the hardest places to play in the country here in Boise, Idaho. We have the chance that this team becomes special and becomes a champion.
Talking about something special, college football playoffs still a possibility, but you got to get a win first. What's it going to take in these conditions and a hostile road environment to get the job done?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't want to give you the coach talk, but it is really simple. We need 11 guys to do their job as hard as they can with relentless effort every single play. I mean, if we strain doing our job as hard as we can, be where we're supposed to be, we're going to put ourselves in an opportunity to win, and that's what we have to do.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
He's done an outstanding job his first year in Vegas right there. Okay, that's the Mountain West Championship game. Everybody's focused right now, though, on the playoffs, and here are the projections. Right now, it seems like we got 11 teams that are locked in. We're just assuming that Alabama's in, win or lose in the SEC Championship game. You see the other 8 teams that are locked. You got the Group of 6 champion, ACC champions, another Group of 6 champion, one or the other will be there. So you got 11 teams right there that are locked in. You got 3 teams right now for one spot. Notre Dame and Miami, that's been a big point of contention for a lot of people. But BYU is right there. Let's assume they lose in the Big 12 championship game. They win, they're in, then we don't have to worry about this. But right now, who do you think and how do you think this will play out?
I think, Mike, the committee will keep Notre Dame as the team that's going in ahead of Miami, because that's what they kind of locked themselves into in the first rankings about a month ago. And I think it's hard for them. They keep contradicting themselves, especially the commissioner, the chairman of the committee right now, Hunter Yurachek. Every time it's like he's getting himself twisted in knots. Miami has head-to-head, and I do think head-to-head has to matter when your teams are ranked or have the same records. I think the challenge here for the committee, though, is it most deserving or is it best? I mean, I've always come up thinking it should be most deserving because in college football, you have the smallest sample size. It's not 17-game regular season like the NFL. And in this case, you have teams that played very similar schedule strength in Miami, Notre Dame. And when they played head-to-head, Miami won. And people can say, well, if they played again this weekend, Notre Dame would be a favorite. Well, Notre Dame was a favorite the first time they played, and Miami beat them.
First week of the season.
It is, but it was this season. It was not a preseason game. It was not last year. Now, to me, the wrinkle in this is I think Miami has head-to-head over Notre Dame. BYU is a different story.
That's the team that I think everybody should be talking about. So if they win against Texas Tech, they're in. But if they don't, they play them tight. Those are the guys that probably need to be shouting the loudest. Losing to the number 4 team in the country twice, they played really. So that's. I'm kind of surprised more people aren't talking about them. But, Bruce, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is it most deserving or best team? I don't think the committee has locked themselves into anything. They've been adjusting these things, and they've been adjusting the rankings more so the last couple of weeks as Miami has started to, like, play better and get better. But this is a really hard one. When I think about if I was on the committee, who do I want? Because I think Notre Dame is the best team. I think they could go in there and do damage and maybe win a national championship. But I think Miami is the most deserving. And as a coach, and we played you and beat you, and the metrics are really close between us, and you're going to tell me we're taking these other guys and we beat you? That makes no sense as a coach or as a player.
You know what else makes no sense? Having the rankings. They have this ranking show on Tuesday nights. They don't need to be doing that in early November because then the committee gets stuck. If I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm like, how could you have Miami jump us? What changed for you in the last couple of weeks?
We need it for programming, Bruce. Come on, man.
That's the sad reality.
And so remember, the bylaws don't say anything about most deserving. It's the best team right now. And you're saying that Notre Dame, out of these teams, has a better chance of winning the national championship, so they would be one of their top 12 teams.
I am saying that, but I actually think that the committee is going to take Miami.
How do you justify that?
I think there's a lot of coaches.
If they're not going to play another game, how can Miami jump over Notre Dame if neither one of these teams are playing another game?
I think the metrics are so close, and there's a lot of coaches that are on this committee, and I think coaches are going to go, they beat them, put them in.
Speaking of programming, we'll be watching, of course, on Sunday when this all plays out. To be continued. You got a shot. Free money on the Fox Sports app. Maybe you can bet on this. Play Super 6 sponsored by DraftKings. One of the questions, which team will have the most rushing yards? And there's still time to get your picks in on this one. Speaking of rushing, what like about this Sire Gaines kid there, Coach?
This guy is a tough, physical runner, run for over 700 yards. He's hard to tackle.
See what he does against that Rebel defense coming up.
Boise State, UNLV, kickoff championship weekend.
This Boise State team is legit.
UNLV, for the first time ever, has won 10 games in back-to-back seasons.
No one to beat. Touchdown, Broncos. It's picked off.
A Boise State explosion.
It's our touchdown.
We're getting you ready for the Mountain West Championship game. This is the third straight matchup between these two schools, UNLV and Boise State, in this game. The Broncos have dominated the past 2 years, outscoring UNLV by a combined 38 points. As a matter of fact, Boise State has won the last 10 matchups, period, in this game, including some won by you as well. So give me the key factor and who wins and why.
I'm going to go with the Broncos. It's on the blue. It helps having Maddox Madsen back. You know, I'm a little concerned that he hadn't played or practiced in a month. Will there be some rust? You know, it's cold and weathery, but I just have more faith in the Broncos. Dan Mullen's had a terrific season, but I can't pick against Boise State, not with him here.
Wow.
Very good answer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm interested to see these run games. Calandria is a heck of a dual-threat quarterback. He ran for 87 yards against them last time. He'll probably be the fastest guy on the field. Boise State has a heck of a run game. They're more traditional. They have a three-headed monster with Sire Gaines, Dylan Riley, and Malik Sherrod. Those guys are really good. But the wild card is Maddox Madsen.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in a month. And it is different game speed than practice speed. And he's practiced all this week, full speed, but how is he going to adjust? We saw John Mateer take some time to get up to speed. So I don't think it's going to pick up in just the old Maddox that we saw a month ago.
So if you're Danielson, how do you adjust him? How do you get him back into the stream of things, getting involved in the
I'm
game?
hoping there's probably some easy completions, should be some short, easy completions, get his confidence going, get him believing that he can do that, and spread it out a little bit from right there. Madsen's not a runner. He can move, but that's not his game. He is a thrower, and he threw 4 touchdowns the first time they played this year. That was how they really broke it open. So they're going to need his arm. Establish the run game, get him on their heels with that, and then let him throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and I think unlike Mateer, I know that's it's a healthy comparison. They have more dynamic running backs. I think they can lean on, and I feel like right now they're not going to face the Texas defense here in UNLV first time out.
Yeah, UNLV's struggled to stop the run, so that should be a favor. The weather might be interesting here, depending on how wet the ball is. Could hurt the pass game. May help UNLV in their run game.
Let's say UNLV wins. They're 11 wins. Could they? Let me start.
Don't start.
Could they jump Jay? Who knows? We're getting close to kickoff. Let's send it out to Boise and the guys calling the game, Jason Benetti and RG3. We'll see you back here at the half.
You know, beginning of the year, you might as well just book your flights to either Sin City or the Treasure Valley. UNLV and Boise State together again. As the guys mentioned, it is raw, it is cold, it is rainy, but it's Boise State and UNLV one more time for the Mountain West Championship game. The band is on the field. We are ready to go from Albertson Stadium. The last 2 years, though, all Boise State. 2 seasons ago, they had questions about their coaching situation. Spencer Danielson named the permanent head coach after the 44-20 win. Then Ashton Genty, a real coming out party for the nation last year, a win 21-7, 209 yards on the ground, and that breakaway touchdown that so many saw. Jason Benetti, Robert Griffin III, Alexa Landestoy downstairs. These teams are like Ross and Rachel. Like they always find each other somehow, some way.
Yeah, they seem to always find themselves in this game. And although the year was a little weird for both of them, this is probably the most important game of all of college football right now. They got some big implications on the line in this one.
Yeah, when you say weird, both teams lost back-to-back games in conference play. They're not supposed to end up in the title game when that happens, but they're here, and the implications you're talking about, James Madison and Troy happening right now, Duke in the ACC title game, you never know. A backdoor college football playoff game might be in store.
Yeah, and that's what UNLV has on their plate. They're trying to focus on the right now because they have to take care of tonight and get a win against Boise State. But if they get a win and get to 11-2 as the Mountain West Conference champions, get some help tomorrow and maybe tonight, they have a legitimate shot at getting into the college football playoff.
They certainly do. Let's start with UNLV and a quarterback who is an absolute joy to watch throw, but run as well, Anthony Calandria.
Yes, Anthony Calandria is electrifying. I mean, this guy is the rebel lord. When you watch him play the game, you're not going to have much fun. Everybody says, hey, Johnny Manziel this, he's not. He's Baker Mayfield with a battery pack in his back. This young man has showed improved throwing of the football. He is the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. He isn't a quarterback who just runs. He's a quarterback who can run, and he's shown that off all season long.
He should get some help from Jaden Bradley specifically, who had just one catch in that first meeting.
Yo, he's got some goons coming with him. Talking about Jaden Thomas, everyone knows him as Jet. He leads the FBS in yards per carry, and Jaden Bradley has all the fixings that you want from a wide receiver. Got to get him going early in this one.
We'll talk about why that might happen from the Boise State side in a moment. But UNLV, 10 wins again this year. Let's meet the Rebels.
With grit and perseverance, UNLV has overcome immense odds in its return to the title game. With one of the most explosive offenses in the country.
Ain't nobody gonna get him here. It's a touchdown!
Lined up against a familiar foe.
Lee fighting his way into the end zone.
UNLV is determined to flip the script and bring a title back to Vegas. These are the UNLV Rebels.
And they are making their way out of the tunnel in a stadium that they know all too well last year in the title game. This year, a month and a half ago, trying to solve the blue turf here in Boise. So look, the Boise State Broncos, if you're watching this game and you watch it every year, you say, they're always here. Yeah. They're always here. They always make it here. There was a moment, even last week, that it looked like they wouldn't be. But they have their quarterback back now.
Oh, yes. They got Maddox Madsen back. He was out for the last month with an ankle and a foot injury. And when I tell you this man is the kryptonite for UNLV, he's undefeated against him. 3-0. Leadership is something that keeps coming up when you talk about him. It's like, well, he's not the tallest and he's not the fastest, but you know what he is? He's a football player, and he always shows up when his team needs him to. When the throw needs to be made, he makes it. If he's got to run or scramble, he gets it done.
So Ashton Jeanty isn't here. So, you know what? They're going to throw it 80% of the time. Of course not. That's not how they play. Dylan Riley, Sire Gaines have been phenomenal.
They are. It's thunder and lightning, Sonic and Knuckles, whatever you want to call it. Dylan Riley has the ability to hit the home run, and these two teams certainly don't want to have to tackle these guys. Their own team doesn't, and UNLV doesn't either.
Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, line one. Let's meet the Broncos on their way out.
The Broncos have made the Mountain West Championship game the standard. Going for their third straight title.
Boise State Mountain West champions.
With a rough and tough running game.
He has a seam and he bursts through. Boise State touchdown.
A stingy defense that gallops around the field looking for big hits and opportunities.
The Boise State defense, incredible. Touchdown.
These are your Boise State Broncos.
they have been that hammer personified back-to-back years against UNLV. Time for our game flow presented by Progressive. Our game countdown on the way to kickoff. Boise State and UNLV. It is raw. It is chilly. It has been raining all day here in Boise, Idaho, and braving those conditions for us downstairs is Alexa Landestoy. Hi, Alexa.
Hey, JV. It's not raining anymore, but this is certainly not the dome at Allegiant Stadium. But UNLV is ready for the challenge. They practice with wet footballs all week, trying to simulate these conditions. Coaches and players reminding us that they played an even worse. At Wyoming, it was snowing so bad they couldn't even take the field for warm-ups. I watched these players out there on the field when it was raining. They were testing out their traction, making sure they had grip out here on the turf. But rain, sun, snow, it doesn't matter to fifth-year senior Marcel McDuffie, who came back to UNLV for this exact moment. He has never beaten Boise State throughout his collegiate career, and he wants to change that. And on day one, Dan Mullen put up a slide and said 319 days till the Mountain West Championship game. JB, this has been on their mind since day one.
It has, and on their mind last night, Marcel McDuffie said to us in our meeting, at some point enough is enough. And if there was a headline for this game for UNLV, it would be that. But Spencer Danielson has done a marvelous job. Here at Boise State, there were lines of players trying to tell the administration that he was the guy after that first title game win over UNLV 2 years ago. Here he is again in maybe his best coaching job. Boise State, UNLV, Mountain West Championship on the line. Here we go. Colton Boomer drives it through the end zone. And Anthony Colandrea said to us last night, I am here for this game. I came to UNLV for a title.
Yes, he wants to win a championship, but he was sold on coming to UNLV because Dan Mullen told him, I'm going to make you a great quarterback, not just a great athlete. And you can see that right there. Only one of 4 FBS QBs with 3,000 yards passing and 500 yards rushing. This guy is absolutely entertainment in a bottle. Be ready to hold on to your seats, people, because when this guy starts running, it's fun to watch.
This is a team that's top 10 in yards per play in the country. UNLV can score. Boise State can play defense. Max Stiege, the junior from Germany, with a big hit on first down against this offensive line that is makeshift of a bunch of transfers.
Yes, bunch of transfers, but when you ask them who's the craziest guy up front, they say it's the left tackle, number 72, Will Thomas. Look for him to really establish himself on the edge in the running game. And then for the skill guys, you're talking about Jaden Thomas. That's the last time you're going to hear us say his name is Jaden because they call him the Jet. He can roll out in space. They want to get him at least 2 to 3 yards down the field before he hits contact.
Colandrea wants to throw. Now he'll run, chopping those steps straight up the boulevard of the defense for a first down. That's what he did in the first meeting. That's what he's done all year.
Yes, you're going to watch number 53, my man Marco Notriani. He has absolutely no chance. First read's not there, boom. Don't you dare try to put a spy on me. They call him the Rebel Lord for a reason. Or I guess I just call him the Rebel Lord.
Yeah, you did. Thomas in the backfield. They'll give it to him. There is Jet Thomas, and he gets popped immediately by Notriani, the senior. And there are seniors everywhere on this Boise State defense.
Yeah, it's a very good front. You're talking about Jaden Virgin Morgan on the edge. He talked to us about how they have to cage rush the quarterback, Anthony Colandrea. They didn't cage him on the last one, so I know they're going to get really torn a new one into them on that defensive line by their defensive coordinator. In the back end, Ty Benefield, they call him Buck. This guy is all over the field. Watch him. He's going to look like a missile coming out of a gun every single time he's on the defensive side of the ball.
It's a throwing down, and we have a marker coming in. UNLV had a boatload of offside penalties last week. This looks like a false start.
False start. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Our referee today, Patrick Foy. It goes against Day-Day Reynolds, a wide receiver, the top 5 penalized team in the country, UNLV.
Yeah, you don't want to really shoot yourself in the foot and get behind the chains, especially out here in this cold weather. Come on, Day-Day. You got to watch the ball there. Don't jump off sides.
You love when receivers false start.
It's just it's the cardinal sin. You're never supposed to do it.
It's another run, and the second door is not there for Jet Thomas. He's dumped by Mickey and Notriani once again. Look, we heard it last night from Calandria very early in our conversation. He said we got to get him to base defense on third down. It's got to be third and manageable, and we'll see how exotic Eric Shenander gets, the coordinator for Boise State here.
Yeah, as they get exotic, they want to confuse the quarterback, make him pause and not know what the back end coverage is going to be. Right now they're showing 2 high safeties looking like they're going to roll down to 1, and they want to change that picture on the quarterback every single time.
Calandria loads up. He fires far side. It's a first down to the 41 to Jaden Bradley. Lost the ball. It's on the ground. It's Benefield on top of it.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense.
So officially a fumble. Progress was not stopped. So that is not a piece of it. The question is he down? Benefield recovered it. This is a top 15 turnover defense.
And it was forced by number 41, Bowen Phelps, coming in right there. It's the hits that you don't see. Ball is clearly out. Knee isn't down. Elbow isn't down. And just like that, turnovers on the first drive for Boise State. He comes in, and it's just the contact. Wasn't even a punch that got the football out. And now Boise State's offense has a chance to go out and get some points.
Yeah, they turned him around. He kind of lost his bearings. Bradley did. And now Boise State's running offense against a rush defense that has struggled this year. Dylan Riley on the carry for 4 yards, but Maddox Madsen told everybody in this program he's coming back this year after the injury on the 1st of November.
A lot of people didn't think he would be able to, but look at these numbers from their first matchup in October. 14 completions, 4 touchdowns for 253 yards. That is the epitome of efficiency. This is an NFL-style offense that's going to use multiple tight ends and constantly move the pocket to keep you on your toes.
There's motion. They motion about 2/3 of the snaps, and that's incomplete for Chase Penry. It'll be 3rd down and 6. The left side of this offensive line has been awesome and together quite a while.
Yeah, they have. You're talking about 2 all-conference offensive linemen in Cage Casey and Mason Randolph. You're going to see them try to run that football to the left side because they know that that is the strength. And then at the running back position, Dylan Riley, he can hit the home run. We know that none of these guys are Ashton Genty, but they are great running backs in their own right.
Motion Cameron Bates, and throw the opposite way. It's the tight end Lauder, and he gets drilled immediately by the safety Jake Pope, the transfer from Alabama by way of Georgia.
Woo! Beautiful. They're going to run a nice branch route. He's going to outside release on that defensive end, push vertical, run the out, and watch this catch. One hand with the contact. I mean, you want to talk about physical? Boom! Hey, my look, one hand. I don't even need to. You got to love Matt Lauder right there. He has been Mr. Reliable for them a lot, but great tackle there by Jake Pope, and now Boise State has to punt.
Boise State did fake a punt in the first meeting here. This is territory where you might think about it, but Oscar Doyle will kick it away. It looked like he was gonna. He shimmied for a while, though, I'll tell you that much. Do I, don't I, do I, don't I?
Shimmy might be the greatest description of what we just saw right there.
You don't want to be driving behind somebody. You got their blinker on for, I don't know, like a mile and a half. 42-yard punt eventually. Calandria and UNLV back next. It's our final edition of Three's Keys this year. What do you got?
All right, first and foremost, Nuck if you buck. Talking about UNLV, they can't be out physical by Boise State today. They have to show up and fight back and get their bike back. For Boise State, hey, there's a wanted rebel on the loose. His name is Anthony Calandria. They got to make sure they keep him caged in and don't allow him to get freaky with his legs.
He's going to load up a deep ball. They like to take shots, and that is incomplete. More than 1/5 of their passes go at least 20 yards in the air.
Yes, they are a vertical passing game. And for that vertical passing game to work, it's that last key for both teams. It's Jet 2 holiday, guys. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And we got 2 Jets on the field. UNLV's Jet Thomas and then Boise State's Dylan Riley. whichever one of them can get going early on first and second downs will win this game for their team. The running game is just as important as the passing game in this one.
You've been watching commercials on your trips to Europe. Here's a handoff, and that's not going to go anywhere for Kevon Lee. It's third down and long. No Triani again in on the stop. The senior who's seen 5 years now at Boise State. And that's kind of the contrast here, right? You have UNLV, which is like a pop-up shop in some ways, but a really, really, really good one. And you have Boise State with all this roster continuity.
Yeah, Dan Mullen told us, hey, Boise State has more guys coming back as starters than we had guys on the roster when I got here. He had to completely put this team back together. And they've got some dynamic players, but can they be the togetherness that they need to knock off Boise State?
There's a penalty. And if not for the penalty, there might have been a big hit on Calandria.
False start. Offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
That will get very tiresome for Dan Mullen tonight.
Now we've got the receiver jumps off sides. We got the running back, Kevon Lee. False starting, like what these guys are supposed to be keying into the football and the quarterback's voice. There's no reason for them to be getting these penalties and putting themselves even further behind the 8 ball. Now it's 3rd and 14. You got to be safe here.
Boise drops the linebackers back. It's a deep ball on 3rd and 14 and incomplete. Bradley, the intended target. It is 4th down for UNLV. They go fumble and then 3 and out on their first 2 possessions.
And if you're Anthony Calandria right there, just keep that ball in bounds. Your star receiver, Jaden Bradley, wins that matchup very clearly. If you just give him a shot in bounds, he's still running for a touchdown. There's no need to be safe. If you're going to take the shot and throw a bullseye.
Oh, they're going to take their shots. They have a Will Rogers offense. There's no shot they don't like. As Sherrod waves fair catch, bobbles it, and then reels it in. You know, Vegas has the magic axe, not Boise.
Timeout on the field.
The Broncos will have it when we come back to Idaho. Look, yes, UNLV is a bunch of new players, but this program just has not fared well against Boise State. 12-3 Boise, 10 straight wins since Jerry Tarkanian's 4th year as basketball coach at UNLV. That's a long time ago. It's the 3rd straight meeting. They've been 2 separate games. 21-7 last year, kind of a grinder. Big shootout in Vegas 2 years ago, and it felt like we'd see points today, but the defense have owned the day so far.
Yeah, the defenses are playing their tails off. When we talked to Dan Mullen about this whole series, his demeanor was like, well, that wasn't us. We weren't here when that happened. And
I didn't do it.
I totally understand that, but these fan bases know that this is us, and UNLV, the Rebels, they want this one better than anything.
Play action for Madsen. He'll throw to the far side and get it to the 34. Latrell Caples down to the ground, his first catch, and they will spread the ball around.
Yeah, we told you, this is an under center play action team. He's going to show that ball, pull it back at his belly, and then get his momentum towards the throw. He can do it a little bit better there, but that's why you have receivers like Latrell Caples who can HBO, help a brother out. Sometimes you got to get low and go catch one for us.
I thought you were going to let me say it. We have a whistle before the snap.
The ruling on the
They're going to
field was
see
a
if that's an
completed catch for a
actual
first down.
completion here.
That play is under review.
Yeah, replay has stepped in. Did he have control before the ball came loose is the question.
Let's see. Ball catches right there. It's on the hip. Now let's see if it hits the ground. Yeah, that's an incompletion.
But did he have control is the question. Mike Pereira has the answer for us. Mikey P, how you doing?
Well, I think I have the answer, and I'm going with Robert on this one too, by the way, that, you know, he's losing the ball as he's going to the ground. Doesn't really have complete control. Ball bounces out and then it hits the ground. Certainly looks to us like it is incomplete. Replay did a good job, by the way, of catching this.
To be clear, I didn't say it was a catch. We're going with Robert. I was just wondering if it was. We're just making sure. Mike, thank you. Thank you as always. You have been phenomenal with us this year. We are so glad to have you. You're the best.
Well, if it's not a catch, then he didn't HBO. I don't even know what subscription service would that be, Jason.
You know what? With all the mergers,
you don't know.
It's tough to know. It's taken a little bit of time here, so we'll see whether or not they change the call. The question is, do you have enough to overturn? Mike says so, you say so. I agree with y'all. It looks like that's an incomplete pass. But Boise State has come out and thrown the ball predominantly so far, which is a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, this is a run-based offense where they want to get their backs 20 to 30 touches in 3 quarters, not 4 quarters. So a little surprised with the weather, the way that it is cold. You want to make this UNLV team feel you.
After review, the receiver did not have possession of the ball when it hit the ground. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be second down at the 49-yard line. Clock will start on the snap.
We're talking about the pass play decisions, and Spencer Danielson, who you saw a moment ago, said to us, like, running is our DNA. That's what we're built on. And so you would imagine this play call is like they can't go 3 and out off 3 passes.
No, they can't. They got to get this thing rolling, and you got to get Maddox Madsen rolling as well. And sometimes that is handing the ball off and watching your running backs go to work.
Or the screen game. Or a sack. Down goes Madsen. Lucas Conti threw him to the ground.
Yeah. So they didn't do what we told them to do, and it didn't help him, right? Lucas Conti right here on the interior. Watch him with this beautiful just swim move. That boy is swimming in the blue. And he got to the quarterback quickly, and those are the hardest guys to get off of as a quarterback. Pressure immediately into your face. Look at him. He's like, yes, sir. I'll be here all night.
By the way, Robert, this is one of the best third down defenses in the country. They let up under 30% on third down this year. They'll rush 3. Madsen down the middle. He's got it to Penry. First down and more. Chase Penry all the way inside the 15. It's a 45-yard gain on 3rd and 17.
Oh, yeah, and you're going to watch my man right here. This is linebacker Marcel McDuffie. Watch how Maddox Madsen moves him to the right to open up this throwing lane to Chase Penry, makes that tough catch, and then after that, it's all him getting the ball all the way down near the 10-yard line.
Chase Penry's high school playing for a state title this weekend. Cherry Creek, the powerhouse in Colorado. It's a handoff. It is Gaines. And he is chucked down at the 10 by Jalen Lee. 2nd down and 8 coming up. This UNLV defense allows the 2nd most yards per carry in the country. Over 6 yards per carry. Only Rutgers is worse.
Yeah, it's been a area of focus for them. Certainly over the entirety of the season, but really the last couple weeks to say we just have to want to stop the run. Guys can't be trying to do other guys' job and jumping out of gaps. Do your job. And right now they're a little confused on the defense side of the ball. Let's see if Boise State can take advantage.
Yeah, Patterson was chasing around Gaines, the tailback who was split out. Now they'll motion Caples as well. Madsen scanning. He's going to run, put it in his right hand. On the move, Madsen to the end zone. Touchdown.
The best part of this play is the patience that Maddox Madsen had in the pocket. Watch him. He's going to drop back, survey the defense. Nothing's there. And I told you in the open, hey, if the throw needs to be made, he makes it. If it's a run, he makes it. Not the fastest, not the biggest, but he's just right for Boise State.
Well, look, we spent all those days in the training room in order to be back. And Spencer Danielson said to us yesterday, when the team hears his voice, and they were very happy with Max Cutforth, very happy, but when they hear Maddox Madsen's voice, they think, it's time, boys. And it was his time to get into the end zone for the opening score for the Broncos. Career baseball pervades his family, but Maddox Madsen showing that catcher-like toughness for a 10-yard touchdown run. and a Boise State lead. He's got the shoe off right now. He's an ankle and toe injury, but he looked okay there, huh?
Yeah, he looked great. I think, you know, in these situations when you have an injury going into a game, sometimes it feels better when the shoe is off or the brace is off. So probably just giving them little critters a chance to breathe.
Good use of critters. And the kickoff will sail to Bradley. He will return it across the 20. And for more on that shoe of Maddox Madsen, here's reporter/podiatrist Alexa Landestoy.
That's me. Hey, JB, you touched on it. Maddox has been living in the training room since returning to practice. He tried out 4 different insoles, multiple variations for comfort and flexibility. You're seeing all 4 here pictured. On the far left was the first one he started out with, a carbon fiber plate that he said was brutal to wear. It wasn't comfortable. He wanted something a little less bulky, a little more natural. They scanned his foot, made him a custom sole. That's what he's wearing here today. JB, the cleats are the same. The insoles are different, but clearly on that touchdown run, he's not showing any discomfort.
That was phenomenal medical work. Alexa, incomplete. There was a free runner coming. Lions, the intended target. Mickey on the coverage. Calandria had to get that away rapid fire.
Yeah, Zion Washington came off the edge, and you're going to see a lot of edge blitzes from this Boise State team. Lions is coming from depth. Right there, going to come right off the edge, unblocked, get to the quarterback, making him have to throw the football sooner than he wanted to. But I want to see this UNLV offense get the running game rolling. They've got 0 rushing yards from their running backs right now, and it's putting a ton of pressure on the QB.
What else is putting pressure on is penalty markers. They've already had 2 false starts. Here's 3.
Offense number 8, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And it's another on a receiver. It's on Lions this time.
Tayshawn Lyons, I mean, guys, what are we doing? This is probably why they can't get the running game rolling. It's because they find themselves in second. This guy right here, Tayshawn Lyons, they keep finding themselves in these bad situations. Watch the ball. It's attention to detail. If there's ever a time to lock in, it would be in this game. This is the Mountain West Championship game.
They will roll Calandria for the throwback they love. Back to the other side, and it's a 1st down for UNLV to Reynolds. Man, you said it early in the week. This play is rare, but it works for them.
It works for them. It's weird. It's a dash away concept where they're going to run the quarterback. They're going to run him back over this way and then throw the football on a dagger concept back to the field. You got to be athletic, have great arm talent, and good vision. And the reason they do it is because Calandria is short. And now they're in the Wildcat with JoJo Earl.
Here is JoJo Earl ducking through. He spins and gets popped by Kaywood after a short game. JoJo Earl is a guy they will use in this type of situation. He's got 9 carries now to transfer from TCU.
And Jason, you're going to see a lot of unique formations, unique play calls. We just showed you that dash concept. Be ready for them to do that same dash concept with a sail route. Post over the top, corner by the slot receiver. You're going to see Wildcat. Hey, this could be the last regular season game of either. This is the last regular season for either of these teams. They're not going to hold anything back.
No reason to. Calandria on the move across the 45 to the 49. And Ty Benefield strikes him there. It's very close to the line to gain.
You're going to see he's reading Max Stige right off the edge, and he said, you know what, he goes down, didn't go down too far, but I'm just a better athlete than this guy. Using the football to tell his guys where to go block, and then trying to go run over the safety, Ty Benefield, at the end. Calandria said he's always juiced up. He looked juiced up right there.
We asked his offensive coordinator, Corey Dennis, who he runs like. The answer was Captain Jack Sparrow on the sand in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Lee on the Wildcat is pushing forward for the 1st down. He had Matt Burns as the engine. I got to tell you, you turn on the tape of Calandria, the way he chops those steps, it's something. And the fact that his offensive coordinator said that, Jack Sparrow, and Calandria loves it, by the way, is magnificent.
He almost takes it as a compliment because it is. When you watch Captain Jack Sparrow run, it's chaotic, but it's under control. He knows where he's going, and those choppy steps are to get him rolling fast.
Yeah, it's a fluid emergency. And here it goes again. Calandria with his eyes up, throwing downfield. He is so good at that. It's a first down to Tayshawn Lyons. He's running to throw, Robert.
Yes, I told you guys this earlier. He is not a running quarterback. He is a quarterback who can run. Look, eyes are up, tells this guy where to go. Tayshawn Lyons, come on, man, come with me. Go get the football. Let's make plays. It is constantly like watching backyard football when you watch Anthony Calandria play, but it is controlled in a way that makes you think he's got a sixth sense or something.
It's unpredictable, but it feels right, and they've had great success doing it. Calandria tried to drop it off, and that was a buzzsaw of a pass to Lee with no Triani on the coverage. This offense has been cooking. If you haven't seen them, 37 points a game, best in the Mountain West, 11 games, 30 plus. This is why we felt like this would be a high-scoring game, though they were bottled up early. I mean, they're getting first downs in a play and a half.
They have the ability to score points in bunches. I mean, they can put 50 on you, and now it seems like they've worked out some of the kinks, cut back on the penalties, and now their quarterback feels like he's in flow state.
It's Lee on the handoff. It's almost a jarring handoff, too, the way he gives on the delay.
Yeah. We talked to their offensive coordinator, Corey Dennis, and he reminded me of how important it is for the quarterback off of these zone read actions to continue on their motion, on the fake, so they can pull defenders out of the way for the running backs to have cleaner running lanes. That's why you're going to see Anthony Calandria constantly today working off of those fakes to do everything he can to open up holes for his guys.
Middle of the field is wide open here on 3rd down and 10. Calandria, far sideline, tough play, incomplete. Jeremiah Irby on the coverage of Bradley, and Irby has gotten better and better after the injury to Amarion McCoy. Irby played this well.
You're going to watch him. Irby, he's going to keep smart feet, slow feet, gets his eyes back, and then gets his hands up when the receiver starts to reach for the football. There's no pass interference there. There's no way for the ref to throw a flag. And Irby's got 4 interceptions and is playing at an extremely high level.
Viella on to tie his long for the year from 50, and it's leaking, and it's no good. Well short.
Kick is no good.
Spencer Danielson has been the conductor of the crowd orchestra so far tonight. Coach, your thoughts? He said short. He was right. The Mountain West Championship on Fox is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. If you like volatility and big plays and SimbaCam, you came to the right place for the first meeting. Here it was mid-October, 56-31, close game at the half. A pick 6 for Boise State certainly helped, but it's rolling around in both of these coaches' heads.
Yeah, it is. Those second half adjustments, I got air quotes up here, helped Boise State go out there and really put a hurting on UNLV.
This is the 6th passing play for Boise State, and it's on the money to Bates. Cameron Bates all the way inside the 25.
Ooh-wee. Cameron Bates, you're going to watch. Maddox Madsen's going to roll. He's going to pull the coverage. Watch the safety go with him and open up this big gap. They said, hey, UNLV, you want to run some dash concepts? Guess what? We can sprint opposite and throw it opposite side of the field, too.
There is the screen game. It's Caples rummaging his way for another first down. Down to the 11. Boise State clearly feels like early passes to set up maybe later runs. Early lead, very important, it feels like.
Well, they knew coming into this game that UNLV was going to be extremely focused on stopping the running game. So they went the counterintuitive way to say, well, let's just throw it early and see if they can handle that. And right now, it looks like this UNLV defense is being caught off guard early in this game.
Here's a run. Boise State sees the 7th most 8 men in the box defenses, 8+ in all of college football. That's part of the reason here.
Yeah, and it's because Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines are really good players, and this offensive line is known to be a rugged group that can move people up front. So it works to their advantage that in championship-style games, maybe they can break some of those tendencies with the passing game.
Multi-tight end motion. You see what Boise has done in this series the last couple of years in the red zone. They've been awesome. Here's another run, and it's Riley stacked up. Third down coming up. There's a big let's go from Alualu Tuiole Motu. 95 plays last week. Utah State, watching the tape, it felt like Utah State never had the ball. 95 plays, a massive amount, the most in 6 years in college football.
Yeah, 95 plays for 25 points. You want to talk about a team that's willing to grind it out? Maybe that is also a factor in this of them trying to alleviate some of that wear and tear on their offensive line by throwing the ball early on early downs.
They'll motion Bates. Madsen looks off of him. He's got Riley, who skates in for a touchdown. Early on, it's a blue Christmas.
Just a really nice job there from Maddox Madsen, staying calm. You don't have to force throws. Sometimes the easiest throw is the best throw based off what you see.
You think about everything Dylan Riley has gone through this past year. Scoring this touchdown in a championship game is massive for his heart.
100%, Jason. And you're going to watch this. Watch these defenders all drop back. When we talk to quarterbacks, we say, hey, if you feel the coverage, all rise. Get to your check down. Maddox Madsen gets to the check down, and Dylan Riley, no one's there to make the play on him. You talked about Dylan Riley and what he's been through this year, losing his father suddenly during the summer. To come out here and to score this and to hit his jet celebration anytime he makes a big-time play, dedicating that to his father, it means more to him to have these opportunities and these moments.
He lost his dad, Willie, over the summer, and you see the hard-working behavior here. Riley's on the kickoff coverage team, loses his dad over the summer, and talking to us during the week, it was such a mature thing to say. He said, like, look, my dad never would have wanted me to sit and think about him for 24 hours. He tried to build this life for me. I better go pay that off. And like, I don't, for a 20-something to say that, you know, somebody who's a teenager turning 20, like, that is incomparable.
And we talked to him, and can't you imagine that his dad is looking down on him right now and saying, yeah, I'm proud of you, son, for doing what you're doing and playing the game the way I taught you to play it. That's how he honors his father.
It's a heartbreaking story, but a beautiful story of perseverance and his hope that he's going to make something out of this football career. And his team is very quickly up 14-0, and suddenly UNLV has a major issue on its hands. Calandria caged in, and he will sail it incomplete over the head of Thomas. Jaden Mickey was right there when Calandria opened the door.
In the area. Second down.
Mickey was right there on the ring camera.
Yes, he was. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of edge pressure. How do you cage rush a quarterback who is quicker and faster than dang near every single guy that's on the field? You pressure him to force him to stay in the pocket. And they're trying to force UNLV's hand in play calling as well. They're going to have to start getting to their 7-man protections that they talked to us about to try to push the football down the field.
So on to the triangle set, it'll be Caden McGee, the wide receiver, who got bottled up by his own guy. He had a receiver in front of him, Bradley, who was basically a landmine, and Benefield made the stop. So UNLV has a big third down on the other side here.
That is the end of the first quarter.
Boise State with a brilliant start, looking for 3 straight Mountain West championships.
Well, Coach, not as many rushing attempts as we're used to seeing from you offensively. Was that a part of the game plan or just what the game dictated from you to start?
Yeah, first off, thank you, Jesus, for an opportunity to be here and coach this game, man. So blessed and love our team, and we're battling. We're battling. I mean, we want to be on the attack in all three phases. That's the mentality of our team, and sometimes that's run the ball, sometimes it's throwing it. Proud of Maddox and our O-line, receivers making plays, running backs making plays. We just got to stay on. It's a really good football team we're playing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Tendency breakers so far, Boise State. 3rd down and 7. Line holds up, it's a throw, and it's going to be short. O'Meara with the catch. He is 2 yards shy. Jaden Mickey in the open field tripped him up. A beautiful tackle.
And it was so nice because Jaden Mickey had to run through so much trash just to get to O'Meara and make that play. If you're O'Meara, you got to get your legs up. Don't jump and dead leg it. Keep them rolling because Mickey maybe misses you. But in this situation, now you're off the field again, down 14. This is the worst possible start for UNLV.
Oh,
and
not a good punt by Cam Brown. Yeesh. Boise State will have good field position, but it's time to go full Sir Edmund Hillary with a Bronco who has the apex on his mind. I claim this land in the name of the Snake River. 96 and 19. 9 championship game appearances. And a 33-yard punt sets him up. This has been the gold standard in this league. Boise State once again in the title game. Gaines on the run, crashing forward for 8 tough yards. So when you score 14 points the first quarter in the last 22 years, you ask, how'd you do if you're wearing blue? The answer is you win.
Oh, my goodness. You want to talk about a team that's been dominant, right? The word on the street right now for UNLV is that they're front runners. That if you punch them in the mouth early, they'll lay down. Boise State is trying to do the same thing to them here. And this is UNLV's opportunity to show that that's not who they are.
Gaines was close to the first down line. That is the plan, though, it feels like, for Boise State. We saw it with Ashton Genty, and even for Spencer Danielson this year, as it's 3rd and 1. He said they go back and they watch runs from the first half and runs for the second half, and they compare, and they say, hey, what we did in the first with a lack of fatigue from their defense can change in the second half. They actually watch those cutups.
And now the impact of it as you see them do the double tight end move. They love this set to run the football.
Gains a tailback. He'll step through. He's got the first down. You know, and for Paul Gunther, you're talking about this Boise State offense. He's an NFL guy. His defense has gotten better as the year has gone on, but he told us, like, headline news, we got to play from ahead, and that has not happened today.
They wanted to get a lead to try to force Boise State to become one-dimensional throwing the football. Instead, they don't have the lead, and Boise State is doing a great job throwing the football. So he's going to have to take more chances, bring more pressure to try to tip the scales in their direction.
Madsen on the roll. He's got it for Bates. It's a Boise State first down, and this is a rhythmic offense right now. It's a gain of 14.
And you're going to see Madsen's going to roll out this way. He's going to get a comeback route from the receiver, but watch the distance that he creates. Cameron Bates, hey, beat him deep last time, so now the DB is playing 5 to 7 yards deeper, which opens up all of the routes underneath.
Capel's here. The screen game that they have used a couple of times. They don't screen it a bunch, but they do have a wide array, a whole flip book of screen calls.
They are, and to your point of the conversation we were having before, they are breaking all types of tendencies right now. And if you're a defense and you come to this saying, man, we got to play with the lead because we want them to throw, and then they come out and throw the football on you effectively to build the lead, that is a total mind game that this UNLV Rebels defense is going through right now.
Pop it to Brown, the freshman, and Brown is out of bounds. He's the freshman from Argyle, Texas, a track star growing up. He gets 5. It'll be 3rd down and short, which usually is fish in a barrel for the Broncos.
3rd and 1, your whole playbook is open. We're right here on fringe area. This is the area where they might run a unique screen. They might pop a throw to a tight end down the seam because they know, hey, we have 2 downs really to get 1 here. They're going to move the tight ends again, do a little fake. Back is closer. Let's see if they run a play action here.
Little hesitation on the motion by Caples, and that is a sneak that goes for 4.5.
Hey, that's a different type of play action right there.
It is.
Instead of turning around and giving it to the back, they're just going to quarterback sneak it with their quarterback. And watch the movement from the line. Snap it to them, boom. They're moving guys back. We call them people movers. When you move a man against his will, there's no better feeling. Now, I never played offensive line, but you know, I moved some people in my day. Have you, Jason?
Sure. Every day. First down. Madsen steps up and throws it into the ground. He had the tight end Wagner close enough. Conti was in there providing the pressure. 2nd and 10.
Sometimes as a quarterback, you got to make the smart play. Right there, Madsen didn't want to turn a negative play into a double negative play. Just dirts it, gets a 2nd down and 10. Now, if you're the offense, you got to get at least half of this back so you can be in a manageable 3rd down.
You're saying he did not want to turn it into a negative play.
Correct.
A double negative.
Double negative.
2nd down. Sherrod, the tailback. Little hot, little patience, and he got drilled by Pope. Oh, my goodness.
Holy smokes. Watch this and listen to it. Jake Pope is going to baptize this man.
Oh. Powdrell was first, but Pope
cleaned him up
later.
Cleaned him up. Sometimes it happens like that. Now here, they're in another 3rd and 1. Let's see what they do here. They've gone sneak. They've gone handoff to the back.
They're 4 for 5 on 3rd down, make it 5 for 6. It's another sneak that suggests the middle of the field is playable right now for Boise State's offense. And this is a team that didn't see the ball a whole lot in the first quarter, but now they're starting to memorialize last week again.
I mean, they just turned big number 92, Jalen Lee, all 6'3", 300 pounds of him, and had him facing the opposite direction off the double team. When you say the middle of the field is open, like, they're just saying, we don't think that you guys can hold the line of scrimmage against us.
Gaines down the sideline. Finally flattened by Powdrell, but Boise State is in the red zone again.
And right there, they made the run spill to the outside, to the corner, Andrew Powdrell, because most corners don't love to tackle. And right there, he hesitated. And Gaines hit him with a stiff arm, was able to get around the edge. Man, I know UNLV's offense is saying, you know, we just let them score, let us get the football back. But at some point, this defense has to say enough is enough.
And they have not yet so far today. Caples that delayed motion again. Madsen wanted to throw it that way. Now he'll scan and whistle it. End zone. Touchdown, Bates. "12 plays to a score for the Broncos."
Yes, you're going to see my man right here, number 85, Matt Lauder, and then Cameron Bates is going to come around the edge, and they're going to one-on-one the linebacker. And if he chooses the underneath shallow, the deep shallow is open. That's what happened. They get a nice, easy touchdown there.
Boise State does not look like the team that lost a couple in a row in conference play. They played Notre Dame pretty tough. They felt like they had a chance there after a blowout in their opener. Boise State playing to its potential tonight. Well, that punt wasn't exactly a harbinger of things to come. Boise State's next 3 possessions went for touchdowns, and suddenly the dance party is on over on the sideline here on the blue.
They're feeling good, and they should. They've come out here. They got their quarterback back. Everyone's playing more upbeat. Their defense is playing well. Offense is clicking on all cylinders.
Is there a better name for a tight end H-back than Troy Grizzle, by the way, who's in there in the celebration?
I don't know if there is. He's getting grizzly with it.
Way to take the opportunity. Tomorrow, first time in conference history, number 1, number 2 in the Big Ten title game. Julian Sayin, Fernando Mendoza, a cast of thousands, 2 really good defenses while we're at it. 6:30 Eastern on Fox. One sneaky piece of that game that is interesting to you that could help decide it?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I think Julian Sain is going to have to come out of his box a little bit more. They're not going to be able to protect him with the play calls. He's going to have to show people what I believe. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's going to have to go win the game with his arm.
Calandria might have to do that here. Jet Thomas trying to get to the outside. A stiff arm didn't do anything to Benefield. There is a marker coming in right at the end of that tackle.
During the run, holding on the offense number 4. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
That is the 4th offensive penalty against UNLV, and most against the wide receivers.
Yeah, D'Angelo Irvin, you're going to see him right here, right there, holding on, got a hand on the outside, inside. When they try to disengage, he continues to hold on to him. Ref sees and turns him all the way around. Yeah, I mean, that's holding in every single sport.
Calandria down the middle, incomplete. Got to bring that in. Reynolds could not hang on. I say that just because you're in a 3-alarm fire in the first place. You're down 3 scores.
Yeah, and this man right here
For an injured player on the defense
is Sherrod Smith. He's replacing Amarion McCoy. He goes in there, plays through the completion. Sometimes when receivers catch the ball, the DB stops. He plays through it, knocks the ball out, and the coaches have been really impressed with how he's played the last couple weeks.
The injured party is a very important part of that defensive line. Braxton Feely. We'll check on him after this.
Welcome back to the Mountain West Championship game. I am pleased to be joined by Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. Commissioner, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, well, your conference is in the conversation yet again for the college football playoff. The champion from tonight still needing a few things to happen this weekend, but how exciting is it for the Mountain West to be in that college football conversation?
To how successful the CFP has been, and the fact that all of our conference championships are so relevant and meaningful, and this is the best pathway to the CFP.
UTEP and Northern Illinois will join the conference in 2026-27. What will they help bring to the identity of this conference?
We are really excited to expand into the state of Texas and that Chicago, Illinois market, and I just think there's such a good fit there, and they're really dedicated to be coming in and being competitive.
Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And JB, it's starting to drizzle down here on the field. Back to you.
Yeah, that doesn't help UNLV, certainly, and the Mountain West has some very proud schools. It's been great football. We love the late night Mountain West. These have been tremendous battles between UNLV and Boise State, and boy, the Broncos are huffing and puffing right now on a 3rd down and 17 in the rain here in Idaho. Calandria drops it off. It's Burns, the tight end, and he is swarmed under by Notriani, who's seen so much football for Boise State.
Marco Notriani making an open field tackle on a check down. They're hoping that, hey, we'll get a nice catch and run off of this. Nope, not with Notriani around. Does a nice job wrapping up and getting him down to the ground so he can't get any extra yards.
The injured player for UNLV down at the 12. It is Malik McGowan, the left guard, the transfer from North Carolina.
Coming up, it's the Liberty Mutual halftime. 1 against 2 for the Big Ten Championship. Will Indiana keep pace with Ohio State in their defense? Tulane battling North Texas for a playoff berth. And should BYU get into the playoff with a close loss tomorrow? Everybody's talking about the Canes and the Irish. How about BYU, Jason and Robert? Talk to you at the half.
They're a really good football team. They're deserving to be in the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on BYU.
No, you're I deleted social media off my phone. Sherrod back to receive the punt from the 32. And he weaves his way all the way to the 44. I love your sense of humor. Maddox Madsen, so far, 2 touchdowns, 3 incompletions.
Yes, I was going to say, it's just an incredible stat. Using his eyes to move coverage, not afraid to throw into tight windows. And then guess what? Hey, my foot and ankle is hurting, but it ain't hurting too much for me to find this end zone. He is using everything he has, putting his body on the line for his team. And then guess what? Football rewards you. When you make the right play and the right throws, you score touchdowns. This one right here, they put the defense in a bind. He is making the right decision every single time so far. You can tell he's excited to be back out there.
Madsen right down the middle. That is incomplete. There was early contact and a marker against Powdrell. Quick conversation between Madsen and our referee Foy leads to this decision. The drama.
Pass interference on the defense, number 4. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. It's an automatic first down.
That is the 16th defensive holding or DPI called against UNLV. That's about 100th in the country, and more penalties than first downs is not the way to come back in this game.
No. The one where you talk about, more touchdowns and incompletions or close to it, that's a great one. But that one right there just shows you that they're constantly hurting themselves.
Madsen chucks it deep, down the middle, and incomplete. He wanted Bates. Welch had other ideas. Welch would have had his 5th pick if he could reel that in.
Oh my goodness. LaTerrence Welch just showed us all why DBs play DB and receivers play receiver. It went straight through his hands, and Cameron Bates almost caught this on the way down.
He got hit in the head with it. He got hit in the head.
I mean, talk about the ball not bouncing your way. It hasn't bounced UNLV's way the entire night.
There's a run on 2nd and 10 for Riley for 2. I mean, you hear the energy still from the UNLV defense, which they have to have right now.
It's what I said earlier, Jason. There's a belief from Boise State that UNLV, when they get down, they'll just give it up. Well, right now, they're still fighting. And if this defense can find a way to get a stop and allow UNLV's offense to just simply stay on the field for more than 3 to 4 plays, they can claw their way back into this.
Boise State has been surgical on 3rd down so far tonight. Penry in motion, part of the trips up top. It's a quick throw, and it is incomplete. Caples and Joseph, the matchup, and it's 4th down and 8, and you figure they'll try and pin him back.
Yeah, look, Latrell Caples loves this inside slant route. He's going to get there, but it's the ball goes through his hands, and I don't know if he was looking around, which is very uncharacteristic for him. He's a guy that plays really fearless across the middle of the field, but you always got to look that bad boy in first before you go to make your move, and it looked like he was trying to do something before he had it.
Boise State playing from ahead here has the opportunity to just go ahead and punt. Doyle for Irvin. And it had enough hang time to be caught at the 5-yard line. That is Josiah Alanis, who pulled it in on a 38-yard punt. And now a quick message from Walmart.
Walmart's top brand gift surprised every last who.
Walmart has Tony's?
And Nespresso?
Even Apple? Who knew?
Ooh la la. Okay, Blazer.
All right, Robert. Anthony Calandria and UNLV here offensively. What do you want to see?
They just got to decide to put this game in Calandria's hands. They're backed up right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to run one just to get a little bit of space. But now they're going into the Wildcat, motioning them out.
Earl on the run. And he is hugged down after a solid gain on 1st down by Sterling Lane II, the transfer from Arizona.
And just like that, they've got a little bit more breathing room. So now you're sitting here 2nd and short. I wouldn't be upset if they went for another run here just to get a fresh set of downs. And then they have to just unleash Calandria, get him outside the pocket, protect the edges by putting the tight end off the ball so they can control any outside blitzes.
You see the rain here. Lee on the run. He does have the 1st down and then some, all the way across the 30 where he's stopped by Benefield. But that is the breathing room you need.
Yeah, Kevon Lee, you're going to see him just bounce this ball to the outside. Boom, gets inside, avoids it, follows his blockers, stays strong, runs through the arm tackles. He's a big fella who doesn't do a ton of cutting, but when he gets a full steam of motion, no one really wants to go low and tackle this guy.
Seen big-time football, Penn State, Mississippi State for a couple of years each. Both those receivers have to get set. They do, Lyons and Earl. And a first down throw for Calandria. It's a crosser and it's wide open for Lyons and a first down.
And you talk about them bringing pressures. I want you guys to watch Kevon Lee pick up this pressure on the linebacker. Boom! That's exciting now for a quarterback. I know Lyons with a nice catch and run, but for a quarterback, when you see your running back has got your back, it lets you have a lot more confidence of staying in the pocket despite everything that's happening around you.
That was Bowen Phelps, the linebacker, who he stopped in his tracks. Calandria, deep ball, it is Earl, and there's a marker in. It is a catch. It's a first down if it stands.
Yeah, that's going to be pass interference on Ty Benefield. Buck, holding, I mean, should I say defensive holding him on that route. That's where all the flags came from.
You got a couple flags on the field. Let's see if they're for the same foul. It looks like they are.
On the defense, number 0. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Exactly as you said, Benefield.
And this is holding on Benefield. There's a corner out. So Benefield's right here. There's a corner out by JoJo Earl, guy that everyone in the country wanted a few years ago. And you see the elusiveness and the route running ability there going up against, honestly, Boise State's best defender in Ty Benefield. Sometimes you can't get so grabby. You got to let him go.
Calandria held on to it for a while, and he will sail it out of bounds. Max Steege, the junior defensive lineman, was there to speed him up.
Oh, I want you guys to watch the tight end here. Matt Barnes, he's going to fake block and release down the seam. He's wide open for a touchdown. If Calandria was just a little bit more calm in the pocket. This is why quarterbacks have to play each play as their own play. Do not assume that nothing is there or that you have to move prematurely.
They've worked so hard on his feet this year. He will give it this time. A bounce outside for Lee. It's a strong gain for Lee, who bulls his way down to the 10.
Ooh. Kevon Lee, he loves this play. They're pulling the guys out in front of him. He's gonna counter, get there, stay inside, and then bounce as soon as the hole presents itself outside to the D gap. And then here he is just running away from the corner with the stiff arm. Like I said, once he gets moving, not a lot of people want to tackle him. He's a big, heavy-set son of a gun, and he is running the football effectively right now, actually giving Calandria some more breathing room as a quarterback not to feel like it's all on his shoulders.
To the 11. Calandria this time. Virgin Morgan after him. Calandria nearly stepped out of bounds, and he threw it beyond the end zone. He almost had one more footfall to sack himself.
Ooh. Yeah, he talked about being juiced up and running like Captain Jack Sparrow. Right here, he's just, hey, man, don't you dare step. Oh, the offensive line coach and the old lineman would have been so mad at him if he stepped out of bounds there, especially a play calling from a play caller's perspective. Hey, if it's not there, don't put me 10 yards back now. Just get the ball out of your hands. We'll go back to 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you're at the 11. It's your best drive of the game. Lee on the power run in a big way, literally into Irby, among others. It is 3rd down. He's a tank, man.
Yeah, and they hide this so well, where they shift the quarterback and the running back over to get into Wildcat with the quarterback still in the backfield. They've done this periodically throughout the year, and now they're sitting here at 3rd and 4. They've shown you that they're going to go Wildcat. They're going to run Calandria. They're going to run their passing concepts. This is an area usually when they do try to sneak the tight ends into the end zone with some passes. Let's see if they do that here.
You also have the height of Omire at 6'4" as part of that trips. And we're going to get a timeout. UNLV at 3:14 in this first half. Boise State gets the ball out of halftime. This is an imperative drive for UNLV right now.
Yeah, we call it controlling the middle 8. with Boise coming out of halftime with the ball with a chance to go up by 4 scores, if you're UNLV, 3 is not going to do it for you here. You got to score a touchdown. That means you're in 4-down territory. That opens up the playbook a little bit more for offensive coordinator Corey Dennis. You could see a run to get them into maybe a 4th and manageable or to score a touchdown, but it's 7 points or else. You don't want to get down even more against this offense of Boise State that seems to be really clicking with Maddox Matson back out there.
To your point about the play calling for Corey Dennis, you do have a checkpoint at the 1-yard line. There's a first down available. He's a disciple of our own Urban Meyer. He was an intern for Urban Meyer a decade ago at Ohio State and has been around some really good quarterbacks. Great circle through the rain there, by the way. You're like Barry Manilow. You made it through the rain.
Can we stand the rain?
We'll see. Third and 4. They had that trips down at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
What do you like here?
Normally when they do the trips down to the bottom of the screen, they're going to run all those receivers back across the formation or run a power concept to the field, giving their running backs who really operate well in space an opportunity to have more room to make plays. Now they've set it up to where they have a one-on-one on the outside to the bottom of your screen right here.
Calandria looks off of that. He'll scramble. Calandria, end zone, touchdown. Captain Jack will get you 6 tonight.
Hey man, sometimes you just gotta get it done by yourself. But what I love about watching Anthony Calandria play is he's not making those decisions pre-snap. He's playing the game and allowing his keys to let him know when it's time to go. And we'll show you that right here after the extra point.
What a response. It's a 95-yard drive in less than 4 minutes. They were totally backed up. Couple of runs, got him some breathing room, and now suddenly it's a game again.
Yeah, and you're going to see Calandria, his eyes are going to go over here to this matchup with his receiver one-on-one first, and then he's going to say, okay, Omire's not open. Now let me go make a play happen when the rest of the defense isn't prepared for me to attack. He's not just saying, I'm just going to do it myself. He's saying, all right, here's my read. I come back, secondary's not there.
Number 43 for
Boom,
UNLV
let's go.
is number 89.
For more on St. Pete's finest, Anthony Calandria, here's Alexa.
Yeah, he walked into our meeting yesterday and said, guys, I'm juiced up. He said he's always had that energetic type of personality since he was young. If we spent a day with his mom, Cameron, he said we would see so many similarities. His parents came to the game earlier this year against Boise State, but UNLV lost. So he said this time they're watching from the Bahamas, JB. A little different weather than here in Boise.
Yeah, when your son says, hey, you know what? Maybe bad luck, don't come to the game, you just book a vacation without him, I guess.
Hey, early in the game, they were saying, what do you mean it's better without us? 21-0. He's like, don't worry. Don't panic. 21-7. We talked about how important that drive was for them, and they got 7. Now it's up to their defense to ensure that Boise cannot go in and score before the half and score coming back out of it.
Yeah, they've got to have a stop here. This kickoff ends up with Sherrod. And he's down at the 22. Okay, so Boise State has thrown the ball quite a bit. Our game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. It was all Boise State early in the game. Calandria 7 for 17. The penalties hurt UNLV, but again, 9 completions, $142. Big plays for Boise State in the pass game.
Yeah, and Maddox Matson, you couldn't have thought of a better, first 30 minutes of this game for him after missing the last month.
Gaines on the run gets 5. Boise State has 3 timeouts to play with and the 2-minute timeout as well. So the full complement of plays here.
Full complement of plays. You're talking about strategy-wise. They don't need to be in a rush. Right, they just came off of a drive where they didn't have much success. So, hey, let's come back. Let's reestablish the running game. Let's try to maybe hit some play-action passes. We're sitting here now, 2nd and 5. This is exactly where we want to be.
Up the middle, Gaines. Oh, he broke another tackle. And he got rid of McDuffie. Gaines, just rugged. 35 yards of grit.
Sire Gaines, man. The thunder of the lightning and thunder combo. Just rumbling.
You can feel those hits in your fillings.
Yes, you can. He's got his man Jason Steele pulling for him, 67. Boom. 2 guys can't tackle him. 4 guys can't tackle him. Sire Gaines saying, you're going to need more Rebels if you want to tackle me.
The Mountain West Championship on Fox is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Boise State gets a long run from Sire Gaines and now is set up inside the UNLV 40 with 3 timeouts, 2 minutes to go first half, and the ball back after halftime. Double play action into a screen and a broken tackle for Sherrod. Off he goes. Sherrod, 6. There is a marker down at the 33. We'll see if it stands.
Oh.
They're not saying blue, by the way.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference. The pass is caught behind the line of scrimmage for touchdown.
Ooh. It stands.
What a play. We talked about this earlier, Jason. They're not a heavy screen team, but when they run the screens, they've got some unique ways of getting to them.
They got tentacles on it, right?
You know, it's like, hey, we don't do this a lot, but when we do it, we really do it.
Well, that was fast. 3 plays, 79 yards, 72 seconds, 3 timeouts left. Extra point good, 28-7. Now you're talking about both teams maybe seeing the ball again.
Yeah, and they fake it to Sherrod Moore. Then they're going to fake it to the receiver coming back around on the fake, Cameron Bates, who's had a number of big plays. So the defense goes there, and then they throw it back to Sherrod, and then he breaks the tackle off of Isaiah Patterson, and then the rest is just him. Well, the lack of effort right there from LaTerrence Welch is really, really concerning. And the pass or the flag that they were talking about was from the receiver or tight end who was blocking before the play happened. But you see the reaction from Malik Sherrod there, knowing that, hey, we got that touchdown. Unique screen. He's the guy that normally does them. Just an amazing job there. But if I'm LaTerrence Welch, if I'm his coach, if I'm Paul Gunther, I'm showing that on the tape and I'm saying, what are we doing here? We're trying to win a championship game, and you're not giving max effort to go out and make a tackle in the open field. That can never happen.
And I know they can't see the scoreboard right now, but James Madison is in a close game in the Sun Belt title game. So that door that needs to open, a couple of them, to get the Mountain West into the college football playoff, that's creaking open tonight.
Man, you should be giving everything you have. And so far tonight, Boise State has. UNLV seems to be not doing it.
So now the Rebels have 2 timeouts. They have a $1.50. Boise State has 3 timeouts. So if you play kind of fast and loose, throw a couple incompletions, they might see it again, and you do not want to hand Maddox Madsen the ball back.
Oh, my goodness. He's on a heater right now. And you're like, well, it was a screen on the last one. But guess what, man? 4 touchdowns in the first half?
It's a record for this title game.
What? He's living the dream. He told everybody, I'm coming back. They're like, we don't know if you'll be able to get back because of these injuries. He said, I'm coming back. And is he back? Oh, yes, he is.
In a big way. Calandria will run straight up the middle. They'll blow it dead. Timeout Boise State. That's a good use of a timeout there, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. If they don't call that timeout, he's still running for a touchdown right now.
Uh-huh. Can I do this promo?
Yeah, you do.
All right, Sunday, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Josh Allen and the Bills. Great quarterback matchup with Burrow back. Then America's Game of the Week. Caleb Williams and the Bears. Jordan Love and the Packers. Some consternation between Ben Johnson and the Packers from earlier days in the NFC North. Rams Cardinals as well. Check your local listings for the games in your area only on Fox. Lions made a statement last night against Dallas. 3-team race, it remains in the NFC North.
Ben Johnson said, you know, I kind of like beating Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is my former quarterback coach when I was in Washington. Great guy, great coach, but there's no love lost between those two, and it's pretty amazing to see your Chicago Bears #1 seed right now. How you feel about that?
What are you trying to do to me? I do Tigers games. It's still early enough in Eastern time, okay? What's wrong with you? First down out of the timeout. Calandria on the throw, a little bit behind, on target enough though. Reynolds breaks a tackle. There is a marker in. It's back at the 41. And we'll check the flag. It's a first down if it stands, and it's going to be a hold against Boise State, it looks like.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold. Sherrod Smith. Is he going to tell us?
Yeah.
Holding.
Okay.
On the defense, number 23. That penalty is declined. Results of the play is a first down for UNLV. UNLV is elected to start the clock on the snap.
Yeah, Sherrod Smith was holding Jaden Bradley on an in-cut route, but they got the completion, so they didn't need to take the penalty.
Mickey's coming on pressure. They'll throw behind it, and it's incomplete. That was a hot read, it looked like, for Calandria, something that he's grown into here at UNLV.
Yeah, you're going to watch Mickey coming off the edge. I told you early, a lot of edge pressure to try to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Well, when they bring that pressure, you have to throw around it, and it becomes extremely difficult the smaller you are as a quarterback of how you can change those arm angles, and there Calandria just put way too much hot sauce on that throw.
They'll walk Notriani up to the line this time and fade him back. It's a run. Calandria got by Notriani and hops to the 45.
Yeah, sometimes when you bring those all-up looks and now you got to let this guy go and this guy go out, they're going to be at a disadvantage when you call that quarterback draw. So that's why Calandria is able to find that seam and get vertical in a hurry.
This is disorganized and a timeout UNLV.
Timeout. UNLV, their second. 30 seconds.
So 28-7, Boise State with the lead. You were talking about spies to Eric Shenander, the defensive coordinator for Boise State. And you both agreed that fast quarterbacks love spies.
Yep.
Why?
We love spies because we always know where we're going. So when you take a guy out of coverage and make him have to spy the quarterback in case he runs, we get more one-on-ones, we get bigger passing windows. And when that spy thinks, oh, I'm just going to go tackle him when he breaks it. Well, we're a quarterback with speed for a reason. We will always make that one guy miss. So now you're taking a guy out of coverage and giving us an easy one-on-one that we can identify immediately. Oh, we're licking our chops.
And then you end up with linebackers off balance on a play like the last one. Same deal, right?
Exactly. Now they're off balance. They're running to get to their coverage spots, and now you're being aggressive hitting it downhill. So if you're UNLV here, it's 1st and 10. You got a minute 23 left on the clock. No sacks from the quarterback. All positive plays, and you don't want to scramble unless you know that you're going to get a big game.
Pressure coming. He'll run through it again. Calandria stepped out of bounds. They're going to blow it dead. It was very close. He is out of bounds. All the way back at the 26, it looks like.
I think that qualifies as a big game. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys up in the line of scrimmage, and as soon as they have to get out, boom, Calandria is gone. He's using the pump fake down the field, and right there you see him step out of bounds as he's trying to cut back across the field. Otherwise, it would have been even crazier run here. But right here, boom, slightly out of bounds, full foot. But I said, don't scramble unless you know you're going to get a big gain. That qualifies as a big gain.
Did the job. One timeout left. They'll run it with Thomas. He's got the sideline. And he twists down at the 10.
You know why I love that play call, Jason?
Why?
Anthony Calandria just ran for his life. And the coach comes back and gives him a play off, is what we call it at QB, by handing it to the running back and not doubling down and saying, all right, go be special again. We've got time on the clock. We got a minute. We can run the football here and surprise them when they don't think that we would run it. That is great play calling there from Corey Dennis, understanding what his quarterback is going through after a big-time rush.
Day Reynolds just left, hopping off the wide receiver. They'll throw far side and touchdown, Omire. What a catch.
Oh, my goodness. Just watch how saucy this catch is. Outside release, back shoulder. You always run the back shoulder as if you're running the fade down the field to not give it away. And then, boom, have the body control to come back and locate it. Oh, my goodness.
What body part hit first would be the question. It does look like he had the toes in.
Yes.
So it should be a catch. But if for some reason the elbow was down first, that would not be complete.
And that's why we have all these slow-mo cameras as they're going to review this one to see if it actually was a touchdown. So you see the ball coming in. Let's see when he gets control. Control, 1 foot down. That's a touchdown, people.
Yeah, toe was down, and he held on through the catch. Mike Pereira is with us. Mike, can you confirm this?
Yeah, I could. Sure. I think what you look at what first hit, and it was the elbow that hit, and it hit inbounds, and he maintained control of the ball. I think it's a heck of a ruling. Tough play for the official, but I like it as touchdown.
We're with you, Mike. Thank you. He said I could.
I could? We hear you, Mike P, man.
He's the best.
Love the videos every week, by the way. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. Well, what looked like it might turn into blowout theater has become a resilient UNLV team, and this is very similar to the Air Force game that we were talking about with us yesterday, where it was just make it, take it, 51-48.
After review, the ruling on the field of touchdown has been upheld. Please put 49 seconds on the clock. 49.
Omire, the transfer from Arizona State. We spent some time with that team that went to the college football playoff last year, just like Boise State did, getting the bye to eventually run into Penn State. Extra point is good.
And now here's the dangerous part for UNLV, or should I say more so for Boise State. UNLV's offense is starting to feel himself a little bit. And they're a team that can put up 50 in the blink of an eye. So if their defense can just find it in them to stop something, they can find a way to get back into this ball game. Right here, 48 seconds or 49 seconds left on the clock. You can't allow Boise to go down and get a field goal or do anything with these last 49 seconds before the half because they get the ball coming back out. But the offense is always what gets this team rolling. So as they're starting to pick up momentum, does it rise up? They want to inside the defense to get a stop.
Well, we just saw Marcel McDuffie a couple moments ago. And again, he said at some point, enough is enough, meaning the series. But that can go for his defense as well.
Yes, it can.
Now, Boise State has 2 timeouts. They have 49 seconds that they're armed with. So this may not be white flag territory.
Oh, no. The other thing for Boise is you have a quarterback in Maddox Madsen who's on fire right now. But the longer this game goes on, the more we'll truly know about how his ankle and his foot are feeling. And if it fatigues at some point late in the game, you don't want to give up points and give up your lead to this UNLV Rebels team.
Sherrod just expended 6 seconds and got 2 yards shy of where they would have had it. They opened 3-2. Big loss, surprising loss to USF. They felt like they weren't ready for that game as much as they should have been in a couple regards. They win the next 3. They lose 2 in a row, but they get the big win in Logan, Utah to make sure they're part of the computer ranking scenario. And because of their win in October against UNLV, when it got down to these 2 teams, the tiebreak for the 2-team breaker was head-to-head, and that's why we're here in lovely Idaho. It's a handoff. It is Riley, and he is shoved out of bounds by LaTerrence Welch. 2 timeouts. Clock stops, 38 seconds to go.
Not shocked by that play call. You said, well, you got 49 seconds. Why would you run the ball? It's called a heat check. You check it to see, all right, are we going to get 20 yards on this game, and now we can be operating more around midfield, or is this team going to knuckle up and be able to stop us in the running game? So here, I would expect them to run another conservative type play here on 2nd and 7 to see, all right, how many yards can we get without being too dangerous with the ball?
There it is. It is Riley. He's got a first down. So now you move the sticks. The clock will stop. As they do so, first down, 34 seconds.
Now you might feel a little bit more confident to try to air it out. But in this set, in this formation, it's, again, another run-heavy set for them.
UNLV wasn't ready. There was a defensive lineman running on the snap, and that's incomplete. Dropped by Lauder.
Ooh.
Somebody just said targeting.
Yeah, Maddox missed one there. He came down the check down to Matt Lauder, but he had his guy, Chase Penry, open down the middle of the field, similar to the throw we saw in the first quarter that he took for a large gain. I know he wants that one back.
Second down. Capel's the motion man. Madsen down the middle. He's got Lauder. They have 2 timeouts. We'll see if they use one.
Yeah, I mean, they should have right there. They're not going to. It looks like they're going to be okay with going into the half.
Spencer Danielson just reading lips. He said twice, we're good. They have heard it from the fans at points this year.
Yeah.
On this blue turf. And this is sort of a stunned crowd, especially considering what Spencer Danielson said to Alexa after the first quarter. We want to be on the attack at all times.
Correct, and you have 2 timeouts there. You have enough time. You can push the ball down the field a little bit more. Maybe they look at the elements and they say, you know what, getting into field goal range and kicking in these conditions maybe isn't conducive, but I would have loved to see them utilize the full gambit of their timeouts before just giving up and going in half.
Alexa's downstairs with UNLV head coach Dan Mullen.
Coach, your offense gained some momentum from those last 2 drives. How can they carry that into the second half?
Well, we got to keep making the plays. You know, in that first half, we had a couple drop passes, some penalties early on that were, you know, just want consistency from the officials. It seemed very lopsided with the penalties in the first half. But what we got to do is come out, though, and execute. We can't make those mistakes. When we do, we're moving the ball and we got to score. And that's got to be what we got to do. We got to make some stops and score in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Dan Mullen displeased in a couple regards. His team trying to be resilient here. To the studio, Mike Hill, Chris Peterson, Bruce Feldman, Liberty Mutual Insurance, Friday halftime.
Yeah, that last-minute touchdown by UNLV, keeping them in it. 28-14, Boise State over UNLV. As we welcome you to the Fox College Football Friday halftime show, sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Only pay for what you need. In our LA studios, hanging out with Chris Peterson, Bruce Feldman. I am Mike Hill. Boise State explosive and in good shape in this one, and Maddox Madsen making a huge difference. He is back. As we take a look at the halftime highlights, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. He's doing it with his arm and his legs.
You can see right here, he takes off on a scramble. You can see there's a little bit of hitch in his giddy up here. He's not 100%, but what a gritty kid he is. I'll tell you this offensive line has been doing a great job pass protection. You see him here on this long one to Cameron Bates, and then he stands in there again and finds Bates again. Hey, out for a month, we were really concerned about how he was going to show up. He might need 2 months off. It doesn't matter. Right. He's hit stride. 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 running. Great first half. Coaches are always talking about the middle eight. The last 4 minutes of the first half, the second 4 of the second half, Boise gets it. This is going to be critical for UNLV.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep their foot on the gas, Coach, because you see Anthony Calandra started to get rolling. They really struggled in the first quarter. especially on first downs. They were getting nothing. But then all of a sudden, his legs gave him a spark. Remember, this guy had his best running game against anybody in FBS against Boise. He ran for almost 90 yards. He may run for double than that tonight if they're going to end up winning. Also, keep in mind, they had 4 games where they were trailing at a half, came back to win. Dan Mullen's team has a lot of fight.
4-2, and they're trailing at the half. Those 4 touchdowns for Manson in the first half, a record for this championship game, second half. Coming up momentarily, hey, it's a battle of the nation's last 2 remaining undefeated teams. Does Indiana have the firepower to take down the Buckeyes? We will discuss next and take you to Indy for a preview. In 20th ranked Tulane taking on number 24 North Texas for the American Championship and a group of 6 berth in the playoff. We got the highlights on the way, plus the JMU highlight that a lot of UNLV fans may be interested in.
Welcome back to the Fox College Football Friday Halftime Show, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
It is on tomorrow in Indy. Top-ranked Ohio State battles number 2 Indiana in the Big Ten Championship tomorrow, and it's on Fox. Our coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt calling the game, and they have more from Indianapolis.
All right, thank you very much. We've got the best game in the country coming up tomorrow here in Indianapolis as number 1 Ohio State takes on number 2 Indiana for the Big Ten Championship game, for maybe a possible number 1 seed in the college football playoffs, and maybe, just maybe, for the Heisman Trophy.
I can't wait to see this one. And these 2 quarterbacks have been so good. I agree with that. I think that the winner of this game, as long as the quarterback plays well, is going to win the Heisman Trophy. Julian Sand for Ohio State, Fernando Mendoza for Indiana. Both of these guys have been absolutely tremendous the entire year. They're efficient. Their playmaking ability, even in crunch time, specifically Mendoza. We had that Penn State game. How good was he late in that game? I know that's a lot of pressure to put on these quarterbacks, but the most prestigious individual award in the land, I think, is on the line here on this field tomorrow.
How about Indiana, Ohio State? Team, who do you like?
Well, listen, both of these teams are complete. They're balanced. They play great defense. These are 2 of the best defenses in all of college football. They're balanced and explosive on the offensive side. Great wide receivers. They can run it. Their quarterbacks are efficient. Put simply, these are the 2 best teams in the country. Wouldn't shock me at all if this is the first of 2 meetings. I think they might meet down the road in the college football playoff. I think they're that good.
Surratt, Becker, Omar Cooper. It's going to be a tremendous matchup. So 1 versus 2 right here in Naptown. We can't wait.
It's going to be a great game. A lot at stake in this one. Ohio State has won the last 30 matchups against Indiana, but this is a key game. Give me the keys to this game.
Well, I think one of the big ones is going to be the run game. I think that one of the reasons for Fernando Mendoza is so successful is because how well they run the ball. They're number 1 in the Big Ten. They run the ball for 229 yards a game. But this Ohio State defense is almost legendary status.
Yeah.
They're only giving up 81 yards a game. And I think if they can keep Indiana in longer yard situation, this is going to really force Mendoza's hands. And can he hold up against that pass rush? If Indiana can stay in 3rd and manageables, the 2 to 5 range, that's going to be a huge, huge advantage. And so I think that's going to be critical, that Indiana runs the ball and then Mendoza can stay ahead of the sticks and keep throwing it like he does when they want to.
I want to see how Indiana handles the Buckeyes' pressure. Last year, this was a really good team. I remember we were there for Big Noon, went into Columbus, and they started out fine, but then all of a sudden they just kind of got picked apart, and I felt like they could not handle the rush. It was bad in blitz pickup. There was a lot of stuff where the offensive line was out of sync, and Curtis Rourke got sacked 5 times. Now, Mendoza's shown he can move around pretty good. The offensive line, I think, is much improved. I give them a chance because I think they're a much more mature team than the one last year and ready for the stage.
Yeah, we'll see if Indiana's ready for prime time this time around in prime time on Fox. BYU will make the playoff if they beat Texas Tech in the Big 12 title game. But should the Cougars get in even with a close loss? Oh, we're going to debate that coming up next. Boise State dominating early on. Malik Sherrod. TD catch and a TD run right here. 28-14. Boise State rolling.
Welcome back to the Fox College Football Friday Halftime Show, Sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Hey, we got breaking news. It's official. Penn State has hired Matt Campbell to fill their head coaching vacancy. Campbell is the winningest coach in Iowa State history, and the school made its only 2 Big 12 title appearances under Campbell. Of course, he replaces James Franklin, who was fired by Penn State. Hey, let's take it around the nation. Other championship games, North Texas and Tulane. 2 coaches that's going elsewhere. Summerall to Florida, Morris, Oklahoma State. Drew Mestemaker. The Trey Williams in North Texas up 7-0. They've only lost once this year. Jamari McClure, 7-yard touchdown right here. And right now, Tulane rolling at the half, 24-7. The winner of that game should be in. Meanwhile, UNLV has a big interest in this game because if James Madison loses, maybe UNLV sneaks in. Who knows? Maybe. Bob Chesney, of course, going to UCLA. Wayne Knight into the end zone. And right now, it's a close game. Only a 3-point lead for James Madison there in the fourth quarter. Let's talk about the playoffs right now. Let's assume we got 11 teams that's pretty much locked in, regardless of what Alabama does in the SEC championship game. That leaves one spot between BYU, Miami, and Notre Dame. But let's say BYU loses a close game in the Big 12 championship game to Texas Tech. How much consideration should they get still to get that last spot?
I think a lot more than they're getting. Everybody's talking about Notre Dame and Miami, but when you think about BYU, their one loss is to Texas Tech, the number 4 team in the country. And really, if you also look at their best win, it's at number 15, Utah. Notre Dame's best win is number 16, USC. So they kind of have a small little margin there. I don't know why more people aren't giving these guys love, just saying if they don't win this, they're out. And I'm not sure why.
And Arizona, by the way, they beat Arizona, who's almost ranked the same as USC.
And they got a better win this season than Notre Dame does. When that Utah win, we'll see what happens. I got one for you too, Bruce. Alabama, let's say they beat Georgia in the SEC championship game. They're currently 9th in the standings. How far do you move them up in the standings if they win the SEC championship?
I think as the SEC champ with 2 wins over Georgia, and both wins would be in Georgia's backyard, and I think they're going to get a first-round bye.
It will be a top 4 team.
A bunch of teams because they'd be the SEC champ. And Mike, you know, let's say we have Texas Tech in there. If they win, Indiana and Ohio State, I think you're not going to have an SEC champion not get a bye. You're going to have 3 Big Ten teams get a bye. I mean,
you're assuming that would be Oregon if it was 3 Big Ten teams.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think you would definitely have them leapfrog. And I know.
Coach is going to like the reaction, Coach.
Why does 3 Big Ten teams matter? Have we not been talking all night about the most deserving teams?
Ooh.
And would Oregon not be the most deserving team, regardless of where they're coming from? Why are we going to put an SEC team in there just because they're from the SEC? Or they're the most deserving?
I think beating Georgia twice, being the SEC champion.
Well, conference champions aren't guaranteed a top 4 spot, remember, these days. So,
look, I think they would leapfrog the team that beat them, Oklahoma. And I think they would leapfrog Ole Miss. Sorry, the Rebels players have gotten jobbed. I mean, their head coach bailed on them to go to like a hated rival. It's unfortunate, but they're the SEC champs.
So Alabama will leapfrog Oklahoma, the team that beat them, but you're saying Notre Dame should not have Miami leapfrog them.
One's 11-2 versus 10-2. Why are you so down on Alabama?
Look, I'm an Alabama fan. I can't believe I'm saying it myself. It has got to be fair. It's got to be fair.
This is the beauty of college football. That's all I'll say.
Let's find out who's going to win the Mountain West coming up. Second half is a 14-point game. Still a good one. See you after the game.
Boise State living it up in the first half here at Albertson Stadium. 288 total yards. They had a 21-0 lead. UNLV has bitten into that a little bit, but that sound you hear is opportunity knocking. James Madison is in a bit of trouble. They're up 3 right now in the fourth quarter against Troy. But Robert, with a James Madison loss and a Duke win tomorrow in the ACC championship game, the Mountain West, depending on who wins here, could have a chance to get into the college football playoff.
They could, and I'm more than sure they're checking their phones in the locker room during the halftime part of it. But this game has been all about the quarterbacks. You're talking about Maddox Madsen showing off the legs. Hey, he's got a foot and ankle injury that's held him out for a month. Didn't look like it on this run. And then just the efficiency in the pass game. 11 completions, 3 touchdowns. Right there, gets one to Cameron Bates. But Anthony Calandria running vertical, straight up the field, having those big type of runs instead of running sideline to sideline. You see him show off the arm. They really have to put the ball in his hands. Not saying abandon the run game, but just open it up for your young quarterback who is the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year, and say, we're going to win this game because you go out and you're the best player on the field in the second half. They've got to give him that chance and trust him to make the right decisions.
They've got to get the ball back first. Boise State will have it to open this third quarter. And Sherrod, who's been very willing to return it, he has a touchdown from scrimmage, and here he is dropped short of the 25. Downstairs in the conditions, Alexa.
Well, JV, I've been a podiatrist tonight, and now I'm a meteorologist. The rain is coming down heavy, just like it was in warm-ups, catching up with Boise State head coach Spencer Danielson coming out of the half. He said Anthony Calandria was the player of the year offensively in our conference for a reason. He feels like they've got to keep him in the pocket because he's been bailing them out using his legs on his starting quarterback. He's proud of Maddox returning, most proud of the leadership qualities that he brings. And JB, we know that's what he told us this week in the meeting.
Certainly, thanks to TCU double major Alexa Landestoy. It's a run for Riley, and it's second down coming up. We have a whistle after the play. Maddox Madsen again, a small amount of completions, a large amount of yards. Same type of deal as the first meeting.
This is definition of efficiency. Their offensive coordinator, Nate Potter, talked about that, how, listen, everything you see in the NFL, you're going to see here. They mimic the offenses of Kyle Shanahan with the San Francisco 49ers and Matt LaFleur with the Green Bay Packers and Sean McVay with the Rams. So they want their quarterback to have to do as little as possible but get the most gain out of their passing game. And then you see there again with Calandria, the completion percentage hasn't really been there today. He's normally a 68% guy. Right now, he's under 50%. They have to find that target in the passing game that can really get them rolling.
That delay in the action, by the way, is an injury to Jalen Lee, the run stopper for UNLV, who's gotten here by way of Florida and LSU. Under Dan Mullen, who spent more than a decade in the SEC, one of the best coaches in Mississippi State history, Dan Mullen, then goes to Florida, had some success, became an analyst where he first saw his quarterback. Now he's in your chair at another network, the chair you occupied previously at that network. Riley on a second down run, he launches himself for 2, and it's third down coming up.
Yeah, and the interesting thing here for Boise is you're up 14. But this UNLV team can score quickly. So if you're Nate Potter, you do not want to take your foot off the gas pedal. Don't just try to run the ball and run the clock down. Come out and be just as aggressive as you were early in the game and potentially push this ball down the field while you're moving the pocket.
It's a loaded line there for UNLV defensively on a third down and 3, which could be a running down. Sherrod in motion, and he'll get it. Sherrod down the sideline. He had no interest in pass pro because he was the target.
Yes, he was. And they used the motion pre-snap to find out that this man right here, Jake Pope, was the one that was going to be guarding Sherrod as he comes out of the backside of the formation, acts like he's going to cut the defensive end, and it's a mismatch with speed. When we call that, it's called genetics. One guy's faster than the other, and you get him out in space, he knows, hey, that's going to be a first down every single time.
He knows defense, too. He had 13 picks in high school.
Oh.
Ball-hawking defensive player.
He just ran those guys through some picks on that one.
He did. Riley on the run, trying to crowbar the ball loose. It's a gain of 4 on first down, and now Boise State at about 5.5 yards per carry. That's low for UNLV for the season, but considering the conditions and the raw Mother Nature tonight, you've got to believe that run game is going to play a center focus here.
100%, and we talked about earlier in threes keys. It's first and second down, getting yourself into manageable downs and distances. And what I love about them is their motion has a reason. They are getting keys every time they bring a guy in motion to attack this defense.
It was Lauder this time into the fullback spot, and Riley carries Pope along with him. Oh, you know, quite often people feel like they have the Pope at their back. It was literal there. Injured player is Dalton Matoyer, the right tackle. 3rd and 2 when we come back. Matoyer is down. This holiday season, Fox Sports and Purple Heart Homes are teaming up to provide housing solutions for our nation's aging and disabled veterans through the Hearts for the Holidays campaign. To learn how you can help heal hearts one home at a time, scan the QR code right there or visit go.fox/Purple Heart Homes. Even in Whoville, there are hearts.
I understand that.
Yeah, and in the end, the Grinch would be the type of person who would scan the QR code. In the end, Gaines on the run, and he is smothered. So Steele comes in. Jake Steele came in for Matoyer, who hobbled off. It's 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and you see Jake Steele right here, the right tackle who comes in and immediately gets beat, blows up the pulling left guard, and causes a tackle for loss there on 3rd and short. You talk about those substitutions and how they can impact the game so quickly.
Quickly to the line. They go for it. Madsen, his receiver, tripped. Caples fell. It was there, and instead UNLV takes over. Wow.
Holy cow.
Lucas Conti is down for UNLV, but watch this.
You're going to see Latrell Caples come and act like he's going to block here and then get vertical on the post. He fakes out LaTerrence Welch, who thinks it's a run. Wide open. It's going to be a walk-in touchdown, and he slips on the turf monster. You see the reaction there from Maddox Madsen. He knows that's an easy touchdown. They're up 35-14. Instead, UNLV has the ball with a chance to get within 7.
What a turn. We have not seen a turn like that for UNLV in one of these title games since early in that 2023 edition. On the option, Calandria finds his way to the fringe, and he's ushered out by Smith. Gain of 3 for Anthony Calandria, who told us yesterday he came here to win a title. He came here for this kind of game. And he's in it now. It's a 2-score game.
Yeah, he's in it, and he's going to be the catalyst. He now has 77 yards rushing. He's obviously their leading rusher, their leading passer. He has to give it everything he has. He wants to win a championship. We're going to see how bad, how many hits he's willing to take, how many times he's willing to run, because they need him to be the most dynamic playmaker on the field.
Calandria lets it fly. He's got it away for Bradley, who was fairly quiet in that first half. He's really close to the 1st down marker. We'll see what the spot has. They're going to say 1st down, so the chains hadn't moved yet, and UNLV did. It's going to be a false start.
False start. Offense, number 85. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, and you're going to see him right here, tied in. Matt Barnes here. Little happy feet. Good form, though. Good technique. Got the inside foot down, all that, but got to wait for the snap, big fella.
6 penalties on UNLV, something Dan Mullen mentioned at halftime to Alexa. Oh, man, Thomas gets eaten alive by Steege. Just swallowed up.
Watch the explosion here. Max, oh, wrong guy. That's the guy he beat. Max Steege is right here behind him. He's going to make an awesome tackle for loss, shoots up the field, no indecision, sees the ball, gets the ball. swallows him up before Jet Thomas can even get into open space and get going.
That's all the note-taking for Steve. Eric Shenander, defensive coordinator, said he takes so many notes, I can't even make a joke around it. Because he's going to write it in his notebook.
He's going to write it down. He's going to repeat it at some point. So right there, I'm pretty sure he told him to go get the ball, and he did it.
Now he got to use a timeout with the play clock running down after a loss. So it's 2nd and 21. You use currency in a game where you're down 2 scores. That could really sting. The Mountain West Championship on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. UNLV trying to hang around here. Maddox Madsen, 4 touchdowns in the first half. A Mountain West Championship game record. And UNLV, Dan Mullen was hot during the timeout. He was screaming at the officials. Maybe a communication issue we have heard from down on the field. Possible issue with the comms system to be able to talk to Calandria. Regardless, he was frustrated.
I also don't think being in 2nd and 21 is making him feel good either.
So they end up burning a timeout that they might have to use later. Here comes Virgin Morgan, and he's got Calandria.
I want you guys to watch the umbrella that this defensive line creates around Anthony Calandria. Virgin Morgan told us they needed to cage rush him, rush his upfield shoulder to make sure that he had to escape up the middle and then collapse. That is exactly what a cage rush looks like.
That rodeo drill paid off, huh?
Yes, sir. Now you're sitting here 3rd and 24. If you're Calandria, don't make a bad situation worse. Oh.
He'll roll out. Calandria will lob it to the sideline.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback was outside the pocket, ball went beyond the line of scrimmage.
See, that's the thing about the timeout. You're already in a disadvantaged situation.
Correct, and Calandria is looking to the right, trying to signal to his receiver an audible, and the center snaps the ball before he's even ready. So luckily for him, he's got good hands. He catches it, gets outside the pocket, and just throws it away, but everything seems out of whack for this UNLV Rebels team right now.
Well, they were rolling, too, at the end of the first half, Robert. Cam Brown. That is a roller. Rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Out of bounds all the way to the 12. UNLV trying to come back. 51-yard punt sets up Boise State deep in its own. Strong night tonight for Maddox Madsen so far. Boise State by 14.
He is just absolutely balling. I mean, even the total touchdowns there, you see in the first 3 games, 8. He's already got half of that tonight. He told us in our meeting with him that he just wanted to be back out there with his guys. You don't know how much you miss or love football until you're not out there, and he is loving it all up tonight.
He is still without his right tackle, Matoyer. They will run left, and they are a left-handed running team generally anyway. Dylan Riley on that carry. They get about 6.5 yards per carry running left for the year.
Yeah, and it's because of those all-conference offensive linemen that they have over there with Cage Casey and Mason Rudolph. You're talking about offensive coordinator Nate Potter, like this is where he wants to live. Running the football, running the clock down, being efficient in the passing game makes the game easier for your quarterback and your offensive line who love to run block.
Left again, it's Riley, and he is stonewalled and driven back. Now, a late hit. Let's see if a marker comes flying in. Adalea was the one who got the hit. But again, take a listen to the whistle here and see when the toss is. You could argue that's a foul.
Yes.
You could argue.
Yes. There's a couple whistles there.
I don't even know what that sound means. Madsen. Big pickup by Sherrod to free up the throw to Wagner. Marker came in very late. Like at the end of the play, a marker came in at the 32 in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, they're going to throw that on Jake Pope for hitting the receiver. Number 13, Chase Penry, when he wasn't a part of the play.
And Penry's down.
Yeah, that was a tough blindside hit there.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, defense number 7. 15-yard penalty from the end of the catch. First down.
Pope can't believe it, but watch it again.
Yeah, because you're going to see Penry run an in route here, and he's a part of this hammer concept. Pope comes in and hits him, and I actually think Pope wasn't trying to hit him. If you run that back, you'll see he's actually trying to attack downhill to go hit the tight end Wagner and just ran into him. That's probably why he was upset, but the bottom line is that's not what it looked like to the referee in real time.
Madsen snaps it off, far side. He got it there for Caples. Close right at the ground. They say he reeled it in.
Yeah, you're going to see this is second one of the day.
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, that's not. They're trying to run the play fast because they know it wasn't a catch.
The ruling on the field was a completed catch for a first down. That play's under review.
Again, do you have complete control of the ball before it hits the ground?
Exactly.
Similar play as the one from earlier.
Yeah, and you're going to see he actually was motioning like, hey, coach, this was a catch. But right here, as the ball comes into his hands, he doesn't have complete control of it. And then he hits the ground and the ball moves. So you have to ask yourself, did the ground help him make that catch? And you see it, okay, he kind of has control. I don't know, man. Then at the last second it moves as the defender comes in. But to go back and show you guys the penalty on the safety Pope, his eyes are not on the receiver. He's trying to run through to get to the tight end. And I was telling us that's why he was probably upset with the call. It looked like he was trying to target the receiver, but really they just ran into each other on accident.
That's a good pickup. And Mike Pereira is with us. Mike, what do you see on this catch, no catch?
Well, this, I think it's clearly incomplete. The ball bounces off his hands. He doesn't have control, total control as it gets to the ground. So I would think they would reverse this. And Robert, I really do agree with you on that last personal foul, the blindside block. Tough one, but to me, he's making a move to get to the runner who had caught the ball. So you have collisions sometimes that can look to an official like it might be blindside. But I really didn't feel that was.
After review, the receiver did not have possession of the ball when it hit the ground. It'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be second down at the 38-yard line.
I'll tell you what, instant replay has really done a great job tonight at getting these right.
Yeah, they have. And listen, we know that the referees and officials at times can be much maligned. But tonight they've got it. And it's not just because they agree with this, Jason. It's because it's what the film is showing.
No, and they're not coming up with calls that you would say, oh, that's not what I expected. Like a room of 100 people, 90 would agree.
Exactly.
And the other 10 would be wearing blue. Madsen surveying and throwing, and he's got it for Penry, who's back on the field. Downstairs to Alexa.
Updates for you. We saw Dalen Matoyer leave the game. We are being told that he is done for the night. Also, UNLV will be down an offensive lineman. Malik McCowan went into the tent at the end of the first half. He tried to go doing some drills with the trainers. He was shaking his head in disappointment. I was wondering if he would come back in street clothes. He came back in his jersey, but no helmet. I don't expect him to be back, but JB, he's a senior. This game means so much to him.
We get a false start here, Alexa. Thank you for the update. Both teams without a lineman.
False start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It's Wagner, and it's the first penalty on Boise State nearly 39 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you're going to see Matt Wagner here off at the top of the line. Just false start just a little bit. Ooh, got a little scared there from the defensive line movement. Happens all the time. Just got to sit there and hold tight, buddy.
See Boise State using those splits down at the bottom of the formation. 3rd and 11. Madsen over the top. Incomplete for Marshall. He had him. He missed him.
Oh, Yeah, and you're going to see this pressure from number 1, Chief Borders. Gets the inside move on the right tackle, gets the hit on the QB. It's not just the hit, it's how he made Maddox have to throw the football before he was truly ready to. And he just wasn't able to fully layer it over the defense as the ball was tipped before it got to the wide receiver.
Doyle just barely got that off. At the last moment, the crowd wants roughing. And let's see what the marker is.
There is no foul for running in the kicker. He was out of the pocket. You were outside the tackle box. There is no foul.
Yep, it's the right call. You give up protection when you do this sort of thing. Elias Rudolph was over there trying to block it. 28-14, Boise State over UNLV. 10 straight wins in the series. Tony Knapp and Jim Kreiner had a battle of words last time Boise State lost to UNLV. You want to read this in like a 1950s teletype voice?
I don't
Rebels rally to top Boise State.
I was going to say, I don't even know what that would sound like. Yeah. That's like 24 years before I was born, so.
So you don't.
I don't go back. I don't go back and listen to the 1950s broadcast.
Yeah, the old radio. Yeah. Everybody had higher voices and they talked faster. First down run. Thomas breaks through. Jet Thomas knocked out of bounds. Zion Washington with the hit. Gain of 23.
And it's just an outside zone run. The O-line is all coming this way, running with Jet Thomas. And this is what they've missed today, is his ability to get out into the open field and make big plays happen. He almost fell right there because he hasn't been out in the open field all game.
He said to us last night, just give me one big run and I'm in it. And they need him right now. Earl in motion. Pressure coming. Virgin Morgan. Calandria felt it. He snaps it off down the field and nobody home. He was out of the pocket and he threw it past the line of scrimmage. He did take a hit at the end. Spencer Danielson says grounding, but Calandria looked like he was out of the pocket.
Yeah, he was outside the tackle box and he takes a hit here at the end. It's just a little bit of a push. You know, maybe he was trying to draw a flag there, a little Patrick Mahomes acting, you know. Sometimes you can pull it off, sometimes you can't. But what I've noticed from the defense on that last play, they're so dedicated to stopping the run that they're keeping the safeties really low and out of the middle of the field. They have to try to attack the middle of the field with the passing game here in a couple of these concepts.
Calandria under pressure again. He throws this up and got it there. It's Earl. And it's a first down.
Oh, we talked about the middle of the field, and that's what they're trying to attack here. JoJo Earl is going to split two and then get all the way across the formation on a deep cross. Calandria does a nice job buying time off his back foot. That shows you the arm talent. Holy smokes, drop that bad boy in there right over the other corner, Jeremiah Irby. Just a really nice job by Calandria.
Yeah, Ruby saw it the whole way but couldn't do anything about it. Now Thomas just barely tripped up by Notriani to save the day on another possible big play.
Yeah, Notriani goes low, makes a nice tackle on him. If you're Thomas, you could see him get upset about it because he knows I can't get tackled by arms. You know, he's coming through here. Notriani comes through, goes low. If you just keep your feet pumping like Tiki Barber or something there, you're going to break that arm tackle. That's why he was so frustrated.
Instead, it's a gain of 4. Calandria rolling to the right, throwing that way. That is incomplete. Sherrod Smith on the coverage. Bradley, the intended target, and a huge third down for UNLV.
Yeah, Sherrod Smith, there's one thing this man is going to do. He is going to play through the completion, right? Right here should be an easy catch. No, sir. He's going to get the hand on the ball before it gets to the receiver and finish with a tackle through. He is really stepping up with Amarion McCoy out, and he's making some plays today.
This Hardy fan base, as loud as it's been tonight.
Now you go empty formation here to give the quarterback an opportunity to read the defense. He's got one-on-one to the top of your screen with Omire.
And a whistle and a marker. Let's see if they have a timeout first.
Timeout.
Yeah.
UNLV, that is their second. 30 seconds in length.
And that's fine, but you have one timeout left and you're down 14.
Oh, man. Talking about clock management, managing of your timeouts in a game where you're down 2 scores and you're going to need those later. I can sense the frustration in your voice, Jason, because people who know football, guys who know ball like yourself, understand that timeouts are precious. And when you're burning them early in the second half, it means that you're not locked in as a team. And that's the worst case scenario when you're down 14 points in the cold, in the rain, on the road.
Yeah, your hope is that you don't need them, right? Your hope is that you're up, but that is not the lay of the land. That's not what the fates have brought you so far tonight in the rain of the Treasure Valley of Idaho. And so you got 19 minutes and change left. You have one timeout in your pocket, and you have blue conspiring against you.
And again, they're going to go empty formation. They're looking to get a box count for who is in the box. And right now, these 2 edge defenders, they're not in the box, and he drops it.
Calandria picks it up. Total emergency mode. Calandria on the roll. Chased by Phelps. He'll throw it down the field. Incomplete. 4th down and 6. He tried to do something with it. The sirens were on.
Oh, they're going to run a quarterback power. They're going to motion this guy back in and have him block the edge and run Calandria right here. Boise's all over it. But the drop and then the straight backyard scramble drill certainly is not what offensive coordinator Corey Dennis or Dan Mullen had in mind. And it puts them in a situation now here on 4th and 6, down 2 scores in their own territory. They have to go for it. They've got another one-on-one down to the bottom of your screen with Omire, the wide receiver. Let's see if they try to attack it.
Lions in motion. Virgin Morgan is after Calandria, who steps up and throws and got it away. It's the tight end Elksness for a first down. UNLV. What a heroic play from Calandria.
4th and 6. Elksness is going to run the deepest deep cross I think I've ever seen in my life. And it takes a long time, so much so that Calandria has to scramble up, move to the right, and then throw a dime piece right on his face mask. Man, when you talk about this guy having to be Superman, right now he is doing it on the blue.
1st and goal. In just over 2 minutes, he's marched him 70 yards. Calandria trying to duck in, running behind Thomas, and it's 2nd and goal. Ooh, he comes up limping. Steege got him pretty good.
Yeah.
Timeout in the field for an injured player on the defense.
There is an injured party for Boise State. It is Lopez Sanusi. And that is for Calandria. The most fortunate thing you could end up with. We're thinking of Sanusi here, who is down and hurt, but Calandria was injured as well. And they need him in this game. But the stoppage, to be clear, was not for him, so he can stay in this game.
Correct. And it looked like it might have been a hip there by the way that he was walking. You talk about hits on a quarterback. Calandria, 6 foot, 205 pounds. I'd go out on a limb to say he's probably 195 right now. Late in the season, wear and tear on your body. So for this stoppage to happen, it allows him to assess and say, okay, coach, what can I do on this particular play after how I did not feel great on the last one?
What does Corey Dennis think he can do? What is in your playbook when you have something like this?
And the thing is, you see these numbers, 12 to 27. I don't think any quarterback in their right mind would tell you, hey, that's an efficient day throwing the football. It hasn't been. They haven't been efficient. So now if his legs can't be a factor, this offense is going to have to move more into more of the wildcat stuff that they were doing in the first half. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
They bring in an extra tight end, Beasley. It is Earl, touchdown.
They put Calandria in the slot. bring JoJo Earle to quarterback at Wildcat like I talked about they would have to do, and then it's just one-on-one with the corner, Jeremiah Irby, on the outside. Normally, if it's a receiver, corners want to tackle him. But there, Irby got caught in his stance, didn't know what to do with Earle making a really nice play in the offensive line, getting him to the edge.
And then it was goodbye Earle. Extra point is good. It's 28-21. Boise State by 7 after a 21-0 lead in this game for the Broncos. UNLV from all different parts of the country and outside the United States has pieced together a rally, and credit Dan Mullen here, right? This could have gone south in a heartbeat. It did not. Our Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. Nick Elksness on 4th down.
Yeah, listen, your quarterback's doing everything he can. All I need you to do is get open. Elksness says, I got you, makes the catch, takes the contact, continues to go. Incredible conversion, potentially saves their bid to try to win this Mountain West Conference. And now the question is, how much can Calandria heal between now and the next time they get the ball? Because JoJo Earle playing Wildcat QB can work to a certain extent. But they're going to need Calandria to be back and be himself to win this game.
Well, this is very clearly a UNLV game. As Dan Mullen was talking about that Air Force game, it just strikes you hearing about their season and the ups and downs that you just feel like you're sitting at a blackjack table, right? And Dan Mullen said to us, he goes, after a short conversation about it, he says, don't walk away from a heater. Sounds like a guy who lives in Las Vegas, and that's the way they've played all year. Sherrod on the return. I mean, just hearing him describe the atmosphere around this team, very loosey-goosey, very freewheeling. Sometimes he wants to be like stern coach dad, and he got to stop himself, Dan Mullen, because they just have played these wild, frenetic, sometimes ridiculous ball games, and here we are in another one.
Anyone that knows Dan Mullen knows that he is a very strict guy, wants things to be organized and done a certain type of way. But sometimes when you're away from coaching for 3 years, you come back and you reinvent yourself. And in Las Vegas, you kind of have to adapt the identity of the place that you're at and the team that you have, and that's exactly what he's done.
On an empty, Madsen ran out of time. The second level, it looked like there was a receiver in the area, so it is 2nd down and 10. Dan Mullen, before he was an analyst just like you, a couple of stops Mississippi State and Florida, and great success in Starkville. Florida for a handful of years. And we'll go handoff, and Riley, and he breaks a tackle. Riley got near the 1st down line to gain. They're going to say he is a yard short. It's a gain of 9.
I want you guys to watch Dylan Riley here. Number 62, Roger Carrion, misses his block, helps Riley stay up, is in the backpedal position, doesn't truly block anybody, but somehow, some way, he helps him get a 9-yard gain.
Look, you got to help anybody that's around. You're from a town of like 2,000, Jal, New Mexico, southeast New Mexico. You just help your neighbor.
That was good. That was incredible.
That's beautiful. Riley tunnels for the 1st down, straight ahead for Boise State. Jalen Lee back in the game, made the stop, down to 2 minutes in the 3rd.
You know, sometimes the offensive linemen don't get the love that they deserve. And right there, Roger Carrion didn't know what to do, but he saw his brother and he picked him up. And sometimes that can be enough.
Fortunate he didn't actually pick him up. He was a shot putter in high school.
Love our track and field guys, man. All the athletes out there, do as many sports as you can. Makes you a better player in whatever sport you end up specializing in.
Ooh, false start coming.
Ooh.
UNLV pointed it out. Oh, see, they're talking about the possibility of disconcerting signals.
Offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
I'm not going to repeat the quote directly, but they're screaming refuse is what I heard. Disconcerting signals could get you a 5-yard penalty the other way.
Yes, it could.
You know what I was talking about.
Uh-huh.
They're screaming fertilizer. 1st and 15. And Boise State will run it right up the zipper again. It's a twisting Riley all the way to the 36. The life of Riley is supposed to be easy, as they say. Like the left lane, just keep driving. That was anything but. That was gridlock that he made into 7 yards.
Oh, yeah, and I said it earlier in the game. There's this belief amongst Boise State that UNLV was front runners. Well, their defense is still playing hard. They're still hitting hard out there, and they're still giving it everything they have. And now they're down 7. So if you're Boise State, you have to find a way to get this ball down the field in a hurry.
Marshall, first time we've called his name for a first down today.
Yes, they're going to run Marshall in here on a little stop route. The back is going to go out on a swing route. They open it all up, get it to him, and then this guy's ability to make plays after the catch is something that they have missed down the stretch. You know, he's had some troubles staying on the field, had some drops last week, but when he can be the war daddy for this offense, but as you said, Jason, he hasn't had a lot of opportunities. They're building back that trust with him.
Riley across midfield. Final play of quarter number 3, and Boise State will try to very slowly, like syrup, sap time off of this clock, as they have done so many times on this field.
Timeout.
Mountain West Championship on the line. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get to a 7-point game, and the 4th is next. Welcome back to the 2025 Mountain West Championship game on Fox. If you have not been to Boise for football, you're doing it wrong. It is one of the great venues in all of college football. The hospitality is top flight, great food, and a great game. 7-point game. Boise State has been running it before the third quarter timeout, and UNLV and Jalen Lee gets a stop on second down. The run fits have been at points very good tonight.
Yeah, I got to give credit where credit's due. I talked about Jalen Lee, number 92, getting pushed off the ball in the first quarter. Well, right there, stood his ground. And it wasn't just him. It was every single defensive lineman along the way saying, enough is enough.
Dan Mullen, though, told us there were 3 straight plays in the first meeting. They fit one very well. The next 2, they fit improperly. Let's see what Boise does, and if UNLV can hold the line again on a 3rd down and 3. Madsen, backside pressure. He lobs it. It's Penry. Chase Penry is right at the goal line. He's down at the 1.
Ho, 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 ho. Beautiful design. Penry's right here. He's going to act like he's blocking, and no, and then boom, he's going to explode out. His defender thinks it's a run. He's wide open. There's no one within 15 yards of him. Just not fast enough to make it all the way to the end zone, but it looks like, let's see, is he down? Yes, he's down before he gets to the end zone. Beautiful play call there from Nate Potter. Run heavy set, sneak the receiver in there, and then boom, wide open.
Madsen, 3 in the backfield. He will throw, incomplete. It was Lauder, the target. Coverage from Mumu bin Wahad, and it's 2nd and goal.
Yeah, almost the same motion with the route concept, just not with the shallow coming back across. Right there, Matt Lawler just right off the fingertips, a little closer in. He might be able to Odell Beckham Jr. that one. And now they got the sniffer formation.
Grizzle, the lead blocker. Gaines is in. Touchdown.
You heard me say it, the sniffer formation. It's when you got the 2 fullbacks, 45 Mr. Grizzle right in there behind Wagner. You get the defense not knowing which way the split flow is going. You see Maddox Madsen pumped up. He knows how big of a drive that was for this team to go back up 14 points here in the 4th quarter to let UNLV know, like, hey, you might be thinking about a comeback, but we want a 3-peat.
And that is the type of drive we expected to see out of the chute today. They threw it around the yard to set up the opportunity to be on the attack in the ground game later. Sustained drive, 14-point game. The Mountain West Championship on Fox is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Third straight meeting between these two teams in the Mountain West Championship game, and it is a really special rivalry and memory for Spencer Danielson, who didn't even know in Las Vegas in 2023 if he was going to get the head coach job. He was the interim head coach. He went 3-1, did very well with the team. He gets on the plane. The athletic director sitting next to him taps him on the leg, Jeremiah Dickey, and says, hey, great job with the team. And that's the last they talked on the plane. They had a meeting the next day. A kickoff to Bradley, and he will wave it off. Meeting the next day. Spencer Danielson walks in. He gets the job, breaks out in tears. He feels like this is calling, this job specifically. Calls his wife, and he says, honey. She says, how'd it go? He goes, I didn't get the job. He lied. Yanking her chain. He then tells her, she goes, you never do that. Do not do that. And then a postscript to his family finding out his brother is a firefighter here in Boise, but Spencer was away from his phone after that. Drove by the stadium. Spencer's face is on the video board. He figured, well, I guess bro got the job. Here is Calandria on the run to the 34. You know, a lot of guys talk about faith and team and all that. Spencer Danielson is the real deal.
Yeah, he lives it, and I don't think there's a better man for this job than him. You know, I've known him for a number of years, and he's always been consistently the same way. He builds his program with a focus on building the total man, not just the football player, but the man off the field, and it pays dividends when you're in games like this.
Earl flips it to Calandria, who wants to throw it. Now he breaks it down and runs it, and then throws it in a one-hand try for Earl that he could not reel in. It's 3rd down and 2. That was like watching a karaoke lyric roll around the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, they got the Wildcat. They have Calandria in the slot, flip it to him, boom, don't protect. So now he's got to run a little bit. At least you can see that he can still have the wheels to go, so he should be fine. Don't get too pretty here if you're offensive coordinator Corey Dennis. You're down by 14 points, but it's not time to run side to side. You got to get things going north and south.
That's why they have the big back Lee in, presumably. Calandria will throw it to him right to his peach shoes. It is 4th down. He had him, and Calandria, who's worked on his accuracy so much, just misfired.
Yeah, he misfired on that one. He certainly wants that back.
Ooh, they're going to punt.
Yeah, you're in a situation, you're 3rd and 2, and he just throws it in the dirt. Kevon Lee tries to make a play, and you see the reaction, hands on the head. Trust me, every quarterback's been there. You know you have it, and you just miss it. And the bottom line is you can't afford to do that in this situation.
Why aren't you going for it? It's 4th and 2. You have one timeout. Cam Brown punts it. And a fair catch for Sherrod. 47-yard punt, no return. Calandria is really frustrated. They don't put him back on the field for 4th down, and we'll see how much time Boise State burns off the clock when we come back. Dan Mullen decided not to go for it 4th and 2 in his own territory with one timeout. Robert, what do you think of the call?
Yeah, I think it was the right call. If you go for it there and you don't get it, you're almost certainly going to allow Boise State to go and score, go up 42-21, and the game is practically over. Here, you're giving yourself a chance because you're saying, defense, we need a stop, get us the ball back in at least 4 minutes, and we might have a chance to go win the game.
Which is fine. I think part of it is that you have one timeout left. You don't have 3. I think that's part of the calculus. The other thing that I would say as a counterpoint is your defense has given up the 2nd most yards per carry on the ground to anybody in the country. Believing in that is a little bit of a tough sell, even though they've been better over the past month.
You know, momentum is a thing that exists not just in football but in life, and if you don't get it, the momentum is going to say your defense is going to crumble. Yeah. By punting it away, you're telling your defense, hey, we need it just for one drive, one series, And they almost caught an interception there on the errant pass. We just need it for one series, and if they can't do that, then you don't deserve to win the game. So I think coaching sometimes, you have to make these decisions understanding the ebbs and the sways of momentum.
They could get that stop right here. It could be less than a 90-second drive, but they need the stop.
Correct.
And Paul Gunther, who came in April to take charge of the defense.
And now you see all these guys up. That is a Paul Gunther special. They don't want you to know who's coming from where.
It's a design roll for Madsen. He'll throw, and it's incomplete, and UNLV will get the ball back. Madsen is very frustrated.
Oh, he's frustrated for one of two reasons. Either receiver ran the wrong route, or he just didn't get enough on that throw because he had Cameron Bates wide open down the field. And that's what you're banking on. If you're UNLV and you're Dan Mullen, you're saying, we just banking on they're not going to be able to execute. We're going to put them in a highly pressurized situation, and that's exactly what he did. Good call there from Paul Gunther, getting all those guys up there.
There's a 45-second drive and a fair catch for Irvin. Boise State up by 14. Can they get a stop? Their defense so far today has played pretty well.
They've done a good job making UNLV play from behind the sticks. Also, they had the fumble early on in the first drive, but you saw there 2 tackles for losses, and then just playing through every completion. We talk about this in basketball sometimes. Hey, there's this team that does the thumbs down bounce passes, and they get the nice easy cuts to the basket, easy layups. Then there's the team that shoots the spin-a-rooney, fadeaway three-pointer in the corner, and they don't have a process to get the easy shots. Boise State's defense has made UNLV work really hard for everything they've gotten.
They got hands on Calandria there, and he sails it incomplete. Elksness, the tight end, the target, second down. This is a team averaging 37 points a game. They're at 21.
Yeah, you're going to see Braxton Feely, number 90 with the neck roll on, getting the pressure onto Calandria. And the question I would have is, if you're UNLV, I know Elksness is the one who made the big play on 4th down, but you've got some dynamic wide receivers that you got to get the football to. There's no way your tight end is the best option on 1st and 10.
Jaden Bradley, 2 catches tonight.
That's not good.
Pitch it out, it's Thomas. Jet Thomas with some space, and that closes quickly. Mickey wrapped him up. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
And we talked to Dan Mullen. He said blocking on the perimeter was going to be at a premium. And right there, Nick Elksness did not block appropriately. Otherwise, Jet Thomas would have had an opportunity to run for at least 10 to 15 yards. There's Elksness right there on your screen trying to block Jaden Mickey, number 20, and he doesn't do it effectively, and it shuts down the play. They have to block on the perimeter better if they want to have these open field space plays for their good players.
Calandria throws. He's got it to Omire on a 1st down, and he'll continue to drive the legs all the way across the 40. It's a 1st down UNLV.
Yeah, and again, Omire is going to run a shallow cross, and he's going to make Mickey have to run through all this trash to get over to him. Nice shallow cross concept. We call it mesh. And Omire has been having himself a good game thus far. Maybe he's the receiver that they need to key in on and get him some more touches, as he's got a one-on-one to the top of your screen once again.
He's played a lot of football. A couple of power schools before coming here. It's Thomas again. They give him a runway that time. Jet Thomas, who got the nickname because he was just running around the sandbox as a kid. One of the teachers said, hey, Jet. That's a jet. I know a jet when I see a jet.
I don't know where they got the jet name from the sandbox, but it works, okay?
Yeah.
We don't know what it means, but it sounds provocative.
Yeah, when you're a jet, you're always a jet.
And I keep circling these one-on-one matchups because at some point you have to throw the vertical ball, and Calandria can throw it. It's just, do they have the trust in their wideouts to make those plays down the field? They didn't make them in the first half.
It's a give to McGee, and he gets twirled around. You said don't get too cute. Bowen Phelps swallowed that up.
Yes. Talking about getting too cute, You're bringing the guy into the backfield, and then all of a sudden you see the linebacker Marco Notriani making the first initial play, and then Phelps coming in to clean it up. You see them celebrating because they understand how big this drive is. Right there to get a tackle for loss on 1st and 10 and make this team play from 2nd and 13 can be back-breaking for them, especially in this environment.
3 downs to get 13 yards. Calandria set up shop, and he goes down. Notriani, a missile straight ahead.
Ooh, this is a beautiful add-on block. Add-on blitz from Notriani. You're going to see him. He's going to watch the tight end block, and then he's going to fire downhill as soon as he sees it and not wait on the quarterback to make his move, but go dictate to him what is going to happen. I just love to see a guy with a neck roll. You don't see those very often in 2025.
We could eat dinner off of that. It's a loss of 12 on the sack. It is 3rd and 25, and the shirtless and clothed both are thrilled. They're gonna run, and Thomas is stuffed. Madry first, 4th down and forever.
Yeah, I don't understand that play call. Now you certainly have to punt. They're trying to catch him off guard with a sneak run.
It's 3 straight tackles for loss. And by the way, if you're not, yeah, you have to punt. I mean, if you're going to punt it on 4th and 2 in your own territory, you got to punt it 4th and 27.
Yeah, and now you got to make sure you pin them deep in their own territory, and you're relying on your defense again to make a big time stop. I just don't understand that play call in that situation on 3rd and 26. Give yourself a chance.
False start. Offense, number 28, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And to be clear, Corey Dennis has had a great year as the offensive coordinator. They've scored 37 points a game. They're one of the most explosive offenses in the country. The resistance of Boise State makes you think cleverly sometimes.
Correct. And you know, that's a good point, because sometimes it can sound like you're just hammering away at a guy. But in this situation, they've put up so many points and been so effective. They're trying to pull out all the stops, but sometimes the simplest play call can be the best in these situations.
Yeah, point A to point B, right?
Correct.
So punt time. Sherrod will give it a go from inside the 10. He's got space. Sherrod on a spin, keeps his feet and digs to the 29. There is a marker in at the 25. Sherrod's having a night, by the way. It's a net of 23 only if it stands.
Yeah, it's a holding on the return team. Boise State.
You have officiating in your future if you're going to say return team. Let's get you a white hat to go along with your cowboy hat.
That would be funny.
During the return, holding, return team number 18. 10-yard penalty, 1st down. Timeout on the field.
It's on Samuel Brooks from Duval County. Boise State trying to cap this off for the Mountain West Championship. Tomorrow on Fox, 2 iconic programs go head-to-head in a huge top 10 showdown. Freshman phenom Cameron Boozer and Duke against Tom Izzo and number 7 Michigan State. Join Tim Brando and Jim Jackson, our good friends, at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, only on Fox for another enormous non-conference game in college basketball early this year. What a game that's going to be. Just sleep on the couch tonight. Right? Just keep Fox on and then watch the game as our Jersey Mike's Above and Beyond be a sub above. Here's Maddox Madsen with those 4 touchdowns from the first half that stand.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing I've noticed here in the second half is the efficiency. You know, 16 for 29 isn't great numbers. The 4 total touchdowns in the yards after being off for a month is truly remarkable. And you talk about that efficiency. Yeah, it's been a little hit and miss. Maybe it's the elements. Maybe it's because he was out for so long and maybe he's cooled off a little bit. But this offense is humming so much better with him at the helm.
Well, that was the plan, right? Spin it early. 5 completions here in the second half. They haven't needed much because of the grinding ability of this run game.
They knew when your quarterback is coming back, typically he can start off on a heater. All the emotion, all of the anticipation for being back out there. And sometimes you start to cool off towards the end of the game. So they got the most out of Max Madsen early in the game. And you've seen it with the way that they complete the ball. Coming into this game, they had 8 guys that had 25 or more targets and 7 guys, pass catchers, that had at least 21 catches. So they spread the ball around, and they've done that certainly today as well.
He's got time to throw. He'll do it here and right on the money for Caples, and a first down, Broncos.
Just a beautiful anticipation throw here. They've got a 3-level throw with Caples in the slot running a sail route. He's going to make this throw, but right as he's breaking, which makes it nearly impossible for the safety, Jake Pope, to make a play. Young quarterbacks, as soon as that receiver is about to break, if you can throw in anticipation, you're going to complete a lot more passes.
That anticipation, in part, comes from his time as a catcher, you would have to imagine. He still regrets that back pick that he told you about that he should have gotten the out on. Here is Brown on the reverse, and he's got a first down as we go downstairs to Alexa.
You were talking about his time playing catcher. How about his full name? Maddox Jeter Mattson, named after the Hall of Famers Greg Maddux and Derek Jeter. I was able to catch up with Maddox's dad, Eric, who's a longtime college baseball coach. He said he wanted to name his first son Mick because he loved him. He loved the game of baseball. He joked with his wife and said, maybe we should name our daughter Joe D. She said, absolutely not, but she loved the name Macy Joe. So after the first 2 names, he said, well, I guess we got to stick with the baseball names. So, JB, the first 2 were planned baseball names. After that, they just had to stick with the theme. But Eric, he's a coach at heart. He loved watching his son being out there on the field.
By the way, Alexa, that was a hands to the face penalty. It'll move 15 yards. I love that he got DiMaggio in with Macy Joe at the end. I mean, you talk about an end around.
Hey, Macy Joe would have never forgiven them if they named her after Joe DiMaggio. That would have been hilarious. They snuck in the Joe there in the middle name, but that would have been tough sledding in school. You know how these kids can be nowadays.
Nowadays, for the end of time. Here is Sherrod, and 2 yards. But, you know, Maddox Madsen was talking about it to us this week, like, every day. Like, literally badgering the training staff. You hear guys like, we're in the training room every day, whatever, right? Like, can I do one more thing? Do you have anything else I can do to try to make this thing heal faster? That's why he had all those insoles that Alexa was hawking for us earlier.
Yeah, sometimes for a player, you truly understand how much it means to them with how hard they fight to get back for their brothers. And Maddox Madsen was willing to put it all on the line just so he could come back for this game in this moment.
Tapping Holmes saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they end up with a couple of yards. They had to snap it, couldn't afford the delay of game penalty, and now they have 3rd and medium coming up. But that's experience between center and quarterback there.
Yeah, understanding we're not going to have the same penalties that we've seen UNLV have today. That's what he's telling his guys with the way that he is a leader. Sometimes a leader, you have to know how to lead and what your team needs in certain moments. So, hey, yeah, we're up 14. We're running the clock down. We're running the ball efficiently. But don't you relax for a split second, because that's when you can get bit. And they don't want to get bit by the penalty bug here as they're going on this great 8-minute drive.
They did snap it with 6 on the play clock, and he's going to try for the sideline. That's incomplete for Marshall. Welch on the coverage, so they left a couple seconds on the table. It's 4th down, and we'll see if they kick.
Yeah, being really aggressive. You're going to see Nick Marshall threaten him inside to create space on the outside. They go for the back shoulder, and he just missed it. You know, maybe a foot more inside there, and that's an easy completion. But
we're going to Boomtown.
That's why it's a game of inches. We're going to Boomtown?
We're going to Boomtown. Colton Boomer, when he steps on the field, they say, welcome to Boomtown. And so the population sign is up on the board. It's from 50 for Colton Boomer, Idaho native, to make it a 3-score game. And it is his last name. That is good. Oh, everyone wants to vacation in Boomtown right now. It's tropical in December.
Everybody loves Boomtown.
tourism is going to go through the roof after that. Game summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Looked like it might be a blowout early on. Maddox Madsen showing the wheels were good very early, Robert.
Yeah, they came out firing on all cylinders. He was making the right decisions. His ability to get through his progressions calmly is what really settled this team down and had them feeling confident. Then they had the unique screen, broken tackle. Man, you talk about Malik Sherrod, his ability to be in the open field, and then what? Everybody wants to get on the action. Welcome to Boomtown, baby.
Okay, Boomer. Spencer Danielson. I mean, if there were a dome on this thing, he might have hit his head on the roof.
He's so elated and excited. This season really hasn't been the easiest for them. They've lost more games than they're used to. Yeah. They didn't think they had a chance to get into this game a few weeks ago, and it found a way to happen. Man, sometimes you got to trust God and keep chopping wood.
Bradley on the return, and he goes down at the 38. Colton Boomer came up to help take him down.
Wanted to give some Boomtown on the hit too, huh? Love it when the kickers want to get physical.
Hey, there are a couple routes into Boomtown. Okay? It's not just one road.
Not one road.
All roads lead to Boomtown. It's like Rome. See, that's brave right there, by the way. There was a guy earlier. Did you notice there was a guy earlier that had the S&T for state?
Oh, he had
two letters.
Both letters.
Yeah.
Wow.
They either had somebody call in sick.
Was he a wide body?
Not that much.
Not that much?
He doesn't deserve that. UNLV's got to hurry. Calandria on the run, and Benefield, who was down there on coverage, comes back in defensively and pushes him toward the paint for a loss.
Yeah, now you're sitting here down 17, so it's a 3-score game. You've got 2 minutes, and the clock is still going down. If you're UNLV in this situation, you should be on the ball, trying to run plays as fast as you possibly can to try to at least give some semblance that you're continuing to fight.
And they have in the third quarter. Like they could have easily folded up the tent. But yeah, there's a lack of urgency right now. It is Lyons who gets decked. The ball came out late. Irby ends up with it. He's saying, give me the ball, Mr. Official.
Really on the field, the runner was down.
He will not have the ball, and he has to give it up.
Yeah, and you're going to see Lyons. Irby is pulling on this,
for an injured player.
And it comes out after his knee is already down. So it's the right call on the field there. Man, Boise State is not letting up. They are playing every play like it's their last play. And you want to see that same urgency from UNLV.
Irby looked like he was Salvation Army with Jack Kuntz, the line judge. Like, play, just can you spare a football? Just give us the ball, man. That's going to be the 2-minute timeout. They didn't snap it.
Man, oh man.
That play did not happen. The officials are gonna say he's down. Now let's see. They're gonna have to sort this out. One official was spotting the ball as though that was a legal catch. That play did not get off, and it's not the 1-second grace period either.
Snap. It was a 2-minute timeout. Timeout on the field.
That's well done by the officiating crew. So
please put 2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes when we come back. Spencer Danielson's feeling it. Boise State looks like it's going to be a three-peater in the Mountain West. Tomorrow, for the first time in conference history, #1 and #2 clash in the Big Ten title game. Heisman frontrunners meet. Julian Sayin and #1 Ohio State, Fernando Mendoza. #2 Indiana. Coverage begins tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on Fox. The game that we've been waiting for all year long.
Yeah, I've said it, and I've been on record saying it really from about the 3rd or 4th week of the season that I think Indiana is the best team in the country. And they're going to force Julian Sayin to have to make tight window throws, something he hasn't had to do a lot of this year.
Calandria feels the pressure. He throws. It was behind his target, Reynolds, who breaks a tackle and pushes forward and stretches for the first down.
Wow. Amazing effort. You talk about it. You want to see your team fight all the way through no matter what the score of the game is. And we're still seeing glimpses of that from UNLV. Now they're back on the ball, trying to run their plays a little bit faster, just like we talked about before the break. Show that urgency. Go out there and finish the season strong.
Lee gets by Notriani down the sideline. There was a standoff for a moment, as you see over on the sideline. UNLV dealing with the elements, you see Pope there, who's been all over the place defensively. McDuffie, who has been through so much as a UNLV player. Terrence Welch, the senior as well. It all comes rushing in these last games, doesn't it, Robert?
This game means so much to them, in this game in particular, because they've wanted to get the monkey off their back of not being able to beat Boise State. And not having that opportunity hits you hard as a player because you know you might not ever get another chance to.
Calandria throwing across his body. He's got a first down for Jaden Bradley.
And so much more than just a game as well, you know, for these players. Football changes people's lives. You know, it changes our lives. We get a chance to come up here and call these types of games, but for them, it's a way out of a situation of them growing up. And it means so much to them personally in their own journey. And you see all that emotion coming out on the sidelines.
What is a last game like, Robert?
Uncertainty. You know, I think most people would say when you have your last high school game, you know, the majority of high school football players don't ever get to play in college. You don't know what that next level is going to be like. But when you have your last college game, for some guys, it's the end of your football journey. And they're not going to know what is happening in the future, but they know they had today, and when you don't get a chance to maximize that, it hurts you to your core.
$1:16 left for UNLV. They do get it off. It's an option pitch, and it's Lee stepping by Virgin Morgan, and he ends up at the 30 and continues to move the pile. And they're going to mark him a yard short of the line to gain. Madri with the stop eventually. It's 3rd down and 1. You know, we travel every week with all the same people, camera folks and audio folks and folks in the booth. You see Jimmy there out in the elements. There's Cam, who's everywhere. I see him during baseball season as well. There's Matt downstairs. It's a phenomenal group. We all love each other. There's Eddie. It was always a good time. Where's Turtle's somewhere around here?
Turtle's always somewhere. You know that.
It's a marvelous crew, Robert. It's a great group. They love doing television for you. There he is, hiding, sneaking behind. We miss when Turtle's in the booth. It's less fun when Turtle's not in the booth.
Yeah.
We got Craig up here, our entire crew, Andrew, our spotter, Mike, our stat guy, Scott, who's been here all year as our stat guy, Zippy down there on the sideline.
Just really love working with these guys, man. They put it on the line every single week. Doesn't matter what the elements are. They're getting us the shots that we need, and without them, we're really nothing up here.
Calandria goes down. Jaden Mickey again with the hit. It takes hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of hard work to do television live. Bo Garrett, our producer, Darren Foster, our director, Andrew Wolf, Brian Colucci, Brandon Williams, Jack Russo. They spend their entire livelihoods for months putting this on for you. We appreciate them one and all. Thank you. As we come down to our final 30 seconds, Calandria motioning to the sideline. 4th down and 3, and he zips it too hot to handle. Incomplete for Irvin, and Boise State will just have to kneel it down one more time to cement a three-peat.
Wow. 8-4 coming into this game, not knowing if their starting quarterback was going to be back or not, and they showed up in a physical way, did it early through the air, which no one expected, breaking all the tendencies. But here on the blue, they remain dominant. Three-peat, and they ended up making the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year have his worst game of the season.
And they do it at home again. This is going to be their 5th conference championship win at home. One more kneel down, and Boise State after losing back-to-back games in conference play. Locks in a dynasty.
That's one heck of a way, as you see the Gatorade poured on Coach Spencer Danielson. That's one heck of a way to leave the Mountain West, and how dominant they have been, as you see the fans storming the field. This is the expectation, but they never take winning for granted.
Seven of them in the trophy case. Boise State is a winner over UNLV, and their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, is downstairs with Alexa.
Maddox, you're just celebrating with the fans as they're storming the field. The first time in Mountain West history a team has won 3 straight championships. What did it take for your team to get the job done here tonight?
I mean, it's awesome. Everything this team's been through, it's so awesome to go back to back to back, especially with this group of seniors, man. They're awesome.
All right, well, take a deep breath. I don't even know if you've been able to process this moment just yet, but you weren't even sure you can play in this game. You missed the last 3 games, lived in the training room, wore the sole in your cleat, were taking your cleat off on the sideline. What did it take for you to battle through this game, and what does this mean to you?
I'm going to start getting emotional, but seriously, like, I wanted to be out back there with my guys so bad, and to be able to do that, and those guys make plays all night, there's nothing better. I love this team. I love Boise State. It's an incredible feeling.
Maddox, enjoy this one with your teammates. A champion yet again.
Thank you so much.
You know, you turn on a Boise State home game, it's inevitable that you're going to see blue turf. Unless, of course, the entire city is standing on it. And it's become inevitable that they are going to win a Mountain West championship. Last 3 years over UNLV, no Triani and company get a victory again. We'll be right back from Boise with the trophy ceremony and that party after a short break.
As DJ Khaled would say, another one. Boise State with his 3rd straight Mountain West championship, 7th overall, 38-21 over UNLV in Boise tonight. Welcome inside our LA studios. We're getting you ready for the trophy presentation momentarily. Meanwhile, the former head coach of Boise State, Chris Peterson, Bruce Feldman, Mike Hill hanging out with you. This was a good game, 38-21. They had a 21-point lead. UNLV came back, made a 7-point game. For Boise State, too much in the end. What's this championship mean for Boise State tonight?
This is one heck of a championship for Spencer Danielson and company. You know, a month ago, this team was kind of left dead. Maddox Madsen got hurt in the Fresno State game, and then Fresno State got after him on the blue turf and really won decisively. The next week, they go down to San Diego State. San Diego State beats them again. So it is not looking good, and they're playing with their backup quarterback, Max Cutforth, and he really does a great job for the last 2 games to get him in a chance to go beat Utah State, to get into this game, and then to beat this really good UNLV team. I mean, I'm telling you, when the energy's going backwards, like no momentum, negative energy, negative momentum, it is so hard to get and right the ship. Way harder than like last year when they went to field, they got all the momentum. This is way harder. This is a spectacular job. Win the last Mountain West championship and get a chance to go win 10 games. Yeah. That's a pretty good season.
They had a great season last year with Ashton Jency, but you wonder what would happen if Maddox Madsen would have stayed injury-free the whole season.
It's tough. I mean, that's the challenge in college football these days. But I think for them to have a chance to have back-to-back 10-win seasons or double-digit win seasons, they haven't done that actually since 2019. I mean, obviously, I don't want to say the fans, it's easy to get spoiled when you're so used to the success. I mean, you know this. Again, when you lose a generational running back like they did with Ashton Jency, you know, almost won the Heisman last year, I think it's pretty impressive how they were able to find their way. You had the blowout loss against USF. You had a tough game against Notre Dame. I think they had like 4 games where they only scored 7 points. So credit to them to find a way.
And they get it done once again for the 3rd straight year. It is time to give out the Craig Thompson Championship Trophy. Let's send it back out to RG3 and Boise State because they have won yet another one. Take it away, RG3.
Congratulations to UNLV on a great season and Coach Dan Mullen. But my, oh my, these Boise State Broncos did an amazing job. And here to hand out the Mountain West Championship trophy is the commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Navarez.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate our 2025 Mountain West champions, Boise State.
Come on, Coach. Spencer Danielson, you want that trophy, don't you? Man, what an amazing job. This season didn't quite go the way that you guys thought it would early on. But who are you most thankful for where you guys are right now?
Yeah. Well, first off, always, man, thank you, Jesus. You know, faith doesn't make things easy. It makes it possible. Preach. And with God, all things are possible, man. Doesn't matter what you're going through. Doesn't matter how hard it is. Anything is possible. And we were left for dead 3 weeks ago. But this team kept believing. Bronco Nation kept believing. We got the best players in the country. We got the best staff in the nation. We got the best fan base in the nation.
Come on, baby. Coach, talk about your quarterback, Maddox Madsen. The way that he performed today was everything that you thought it would be. And I know these guys right here believe in him in the same way they believe in you. How amazing was he for you tonight?
Maddox is an elite competitor. He loves his team. This team loves him. He never flinches, and he played great tonight. Led us to another championship.
Coach, we appreciate you. Great job, man. Now let's bring up the offensive player of the game, the man that you guys all love, Maddox Madsen. Oh, look at that. Put the hat on then, baby. We like that. Uh-oh. Maddox, you opened this game up on a heater, and you had that rushing touchdown early in the game when everyone was talking about your ankle and your foot injury. What was that like to get into the end zone and show them that, hey, I'm back?
It was an incredible feeling, and luckily all the wide receivers were covered so I could scramble.
And then, you also broke a Mountain West Conference championship record in the first half. 4 touchdowns. Just what does this game mean to you, and why did you want to come back just for your guys and put it all on the line?
I mean, it means everything to me. This group of guys, I love them so much. I mean, we were getting ready to do victory, and all I could tell them is how much I love these guys. And so being able to battle with these guys and end up champions, it's a huge deal.
Let's give it up for Maddox Madsen, your quarterback. And then now we have our defensive player of the game. They call him Buck, Ty Benefield. Let's give it up for your defensive MVP. Now, Ty, you guys had the opportunity to come out here and truly shut down the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Game and quarterback Anthony Calandria. What made that possible for you guys tonight?
I mean, the whole defense just swarming. The preparation all week. The coaches putting the plays in us and everything, man. Like, I got to give credit to all the BYB and the whole team. So, appreciate y'all.
Uh-oh. They want you guys to hold up this trophy. Coach, get over here. Come on now. 3-peat, baby. Congratulations to Boise State on the 3-peat. Let's get it one time. Boise! 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 Nice job, baby. Back to you, Mike.
Celebrating another championship there, Boise State. They're 7th. What are they celebrating, Coach?
Well, they're probably heading over to the end zone for a little celebratory beer or something else like that.
All right. We'll look ahead to the Big Ten championship coming up next. Stick around. It's become old hat for Boise State. 7th time lifting that trophy. Mountain West champions for the 3rd year in a row. 38-21 over UNLV. Meanwhile, tomorrow night, top-ranked Ohio State battles number 2 Indiana in the Big Ten Championship. Our game coverage from Indianapolis begins at 6:30 Eastern right here on Fox. 1 versus 2 in the rankings. The last 2 unbeaten teams. Ohio State's won 30 in a row against Indiana, but this is a different Hoosiers program. What's going to determine this one?
I think the run game for Indiana. That's what I want to see. I think they've been so good, the best in the Big Ten. They run for 229 yards a game. They've done such a great job with this. It makes Mendoza, who's part of that run game, makes him so successful. They're always ahead of the sticks. They're never in bad situations. And we know about this Ohio State defense. I mean, they're giving up 81 yards a game. So that's what I really want to see. And if we double click on that, it kind of leads us to third downs. They have done a great job, Indiana, with third down offense. But the number 3 team in the country and the number 1 in the Big Ten is Ohio State's defense defending third downs. So if Indiana can keep this in 3rd and 2 to 5-ish, advantage Indiana.
Hoosiers also top 5 in offense and defensive categories as well.
Yeah, I don't think we talk enough. Look, Matt Patricia's done a terrific job as a first-year defense coordinator at Ohio State, but Bryant Haynes is the defense coordinator at Indiana. He's done an amazing job, and they have only allowed 6 touchdown passes all year and have 16 interceptions, which is a heck of a TD to interception ratio for a defense. Last year in this game, Will Howard shredded them. I think it was like 85% completions. It was very much like a Julian Sayin day. I feel like if Indiana is better right now than they were, they gave Oregon and Dante Moore all kinds of problems, sacked him 6 times. Exactly. I think if you get something similar where they can get Sayin off his game, they got a chance, because I think they were really good on offense, and this is a much better, more mature Indiana team than the one Ohio State handled last year.
It's going to determine a lot, maybe the top seed in the playoffs, of course, maybe the Heisman Trophy winner, a lot on the line, Big Ten Championship tomorrow on Fox from Indianapolis. Once again, congrats to Boise State, your 2025 Mountain West champions. Enjoy championship weekend, everybody.